If we had, yes, donate to the school, $ FDMG school on your Cash App. 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 If you need to mail in your donation, make it payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That is Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We appreciate $1, but we would rather have 10. We appreciate $20, but we would rather have 50. We appreciate $50, but we would rather have 100. We appreciate $100, but we would rather have 200. We're trying to renovate a school, brothers and sisters. We're trying to renovate a school. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not opening up a penny candy shop. We're not selling water ices, okay? We're not selling hot dogs. We're renovating a school. Do you understand? Do you understand? So please, brothers and sisters, give what you can. We're building an institution, okay? We're trying to give our children a chance that we didn't have. That's what we're doing. I don't have to pin it because I done already told you what it is. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Before I continue with my message, thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
All right, Cookie Crush Chat, thank you all so much for tuning on in. It feels like we haven't been together in a month. Welcome. We got a lot to get into. Special presentation for you all. Cookie Crush Chat undefeated. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. I got this.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you all again for tuning. What's up, James? And Ruben and Divera is in the building as well. Shout out to the Cookie Crush Chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. I put together short, there's a video. We're going to go through it. What I want to do today during this live stream, Cookie Crush Chat undefeated, is I want to set the timeline up again from when Umar, in so many ways, he tells people in advance, he telegraphs his move in advance. He sets up this whole idea that his bank accounts are frozen. But he did that because he knew that these buildings had past due bills that would ultimately, if he doesn't pay them by the 25th, I believe, that ultimately they're going to go up for sale at sheriff auction, sheriff sale. I want to outline this because Umar is the ultimate liar. You remember the Ultimate Warrior from WWF back in the day? Umar is the ultimate liar. And this is another way where we can illustrate how deceptive and diabolical Umar is. Mary Ann Laurent has released the film Awaken. She also did a video that everyone should check out. I already promoted it, where she talks a little bit about some of the experiences that she had making the film. I'm also uploading these short videos of the interview that I did with her. It was probably about a month ago. And I uploaded the first one yesterday. I'll probably have the next one up probably on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Okay. But that also will show you guys and illustrate how Umar is so diabolical and so deceptive. He's the great deceiver of our time. And what kind of gets lost in the sauce of all of this, because Umar's always involved in these shenanigans, is how each one of these pieces fit into the next. And that's what I'm going to be proving to you guys here today. We're going to go back in time, and we're going to bring it all the way up to forward to what's taking place more recently with Umar, with him receiving a munition. And we'll get into that too. Okay, I got all that. It's all set up, all ready to go. Thank you everyone for tuning on in. I do appreciate it. I hope everyone's been enjoying these live streams. The numbers have gone. I'm already at 85,000, about to be 86,000 subscribers. All of my numbers have skyrocketed all across the board. I want to thank everyone. One of the reasons why is because and then we're getting a whole lot of more people in these live streams because people hit that like button. Helps us to get into the algorithm. If at any point during this live stream you enjoy anything that's being presented here, or you're enjoying the chat room where it's at, Quick Crush Chat is where it's at, go on and hit that like button. That'll help us to trend inside the algorithm, and it'll get more people to come on over and check this out. I also want to invite all you Umar Johnson followers. You guys are welcome here too. I don't have any animosity towards you all. No hatred whatsoever. I don't have hatred towards Umar. I just simply point out the facts, and I do not misrepresent the facts. I provide receipts. Okay, and when I speculate, I say that I'm speculating. If I don't know something to be true, I say that I believe. Okay. Other than that, everything else I'm going to present to you guys with receipts, and I may say things where you may not have seen me, present the receipt before, but I guarantee you that I have. And if people want me to pull up certain receipts, I can do that as well. But for this live stream, I have a very special presentation. By the way, Lenon may be on tomorrow with the bombshell. Hit the one. We're working it out right now. Hit the one. If this goes down, boy, Umar. We're gonna have to wait and see. Okay. If it doesn't work out for tomorrow, then we probably try to do it on Thursday. Either way, I'm gonna be live streaming tomorrow. Okay. Thank y'all again inside the Quick Crush Chat. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Okay, so let's get into it. We're gonna do this step by step. Let's see. Miranda says, hey, Lenon and Quick Crush Chat. Lenon, do you think that he will accept Saint's offer to pay the taxes off on the schools in exchange for a partnership? I said this before. Umar is not going to sell these buildings. Okay, he's not going to do that. For Umar, it's a better strategy. Let's say if he doesn't want to come up, I think he's trying to come up with the money. If he doesn't come up with the money, I have a sense that what he'll do is he'll just let them go to auction, and then he's going to get some money back. There's a process that he has to go through based upon what someone explained to me. There's a process he has to go through, but he'll get some money back, and he can just take that money and just move on with the scam, or keep it for himself, or try to tell people, look, so I'm going to try to find another building with the money that I have left over, blah, blah, blah. And he'll just keep going with it because he doesn't have anything else remaining after this school scam. So I think that is the most likely outcome in all of this. I think in the first place, he's going to try and come up with the money. And then if he can't, he'll let it go on to auction. And then he's going to get some money back based upon how much the buildings sell for. Okay. Thank you for super chat. Sweeney Boy says, what's up, Uncle Lenon? I hit the 3 months milestones. Let's get it. Okay. Congratulations. Always looking forward to your live vids. This is so much better than cable TV. Yeah, evidently people have been enjoying these live streams. And there's a lot of people that's been watching the older our archive videos that we have here. Also the archive videos that we have for members. I got a whole lot of members too now. Thank you guys so much, all you members. In fact, Hannah just became a member. Thank you so much, Hannah. And a lot of people have been binge watching those older videos. So that's really, really cool. Thanks, Mitty Boy, and congratulations as well. Reality Medic says, I love to sing FDMG is coming. All right. Well, it's not true, but it's okay. Sometimes we got to sing about stuff that's not going to happen. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Let's get into this. So I got a lot to get into here today. And if everything works out, we'll have Lenon on tomorrow. And if that happens, oh my goodness gracious, you guys will see. Shout out to Information Man. Peace and respect. Thank you so much, brother. I emailed you back. He did a show to cover what we're covering today. He did that yesterday. I haven't had a time to get in to listen to it. I had a whole bunch of other stuff I had to get to, and then I had to put this compilation video together that we're going to get into in just a moment. But shout out to Information Man doing fantastic work. Okay, much respect to you. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. All right. User 225 says, if Lenon is back on, I cannot wait. I got so many new jokes to share with the Cookie Crush chat. Stay tuned and keep. Oh my God. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Boy, this good question, that's crazy. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to go based on the timeline that I put together. I'm big on timeline. we're going to go to the first video is from June 9th of 2025. Many of you guys remember this. We're going to go to the 46-minute and 21-second mark. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go step by step to show you guys how Umar telegraphed all of this based upon what's happening today. He telegraphed all this. Also, receipts in terms of the there's a brother who contacted a representative from Wilmington, and when we get to that, I'll share all that information and everything with that and how that relates to what Umar said earlier on. What you guys will see. You guys will see. And Laurie gifted 5 members. Thank you so much, Laurie. That's very kind of you. Very kind. Thank you so much. Whoever received those memberships, make sure you thank Larry. Everybody else thank Larry anyway. Laurie anyway. Everybody thank Laurie. Okay. Thank you, Laurie. I appreciate it. And they should be appreciative too. Don't be like Umar. Okay. Next time, make it 10. What's up, Malika? Shout out to Black Anonymous, one of the OGs. Yeah, I'm gonna have part 2 ready probably on Friday. I'll probably do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for those shorter videos with Marianne Lawrence. Shout out to her. She's awesome. What's up, DD? Lisa, make sure everyone go and watch I promoted it today, Mary Ann's channel, to see the behind-the-scenes story of the film. Umar did her. I'll continue to promote her as we continue to progress through this Umar Johnson saga. Step the bar. What's up? Says we appreciate 10, but we'd rather have 1 million. Okay, thank you. And Ren became a member to it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into this, everybody. I appreciate y'all's presence. All right, and if at any point during this live stream you guys enjoy, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, so I'd like to pull this up. This first video is from June 9th of 2025, and this is after Lene did her first and I believe her second interview here on my YouTube page. Umar had this response. All right, here we go.
Stacks, throat goat, hood rat, jump off, fishy coochie.
Y'all remember
fishy
this?
Coochie, the queen of fishy coochie. I believe she may have taken information regarding the bank account of FDMG and my personal. I discussed this with the attorneys. The attorneys told me.
See, he telegraphed all of this in advance. See, Umar already knew what was going to be coming down the line with this munition. We're in the state of Delaware, the city of Wilmington. They told Umar that he had, by the 25th, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room, to pay off this balance that was due, back bills on both parcels. So there's one side of the street, there's one parcel, that's one building. And then on the other side, there's 2 buildings, that's a second parcel. All right. So Umar already was setting this up, going all the way back over a month ago and 10 days. So let's be clear about what Umar is doing. This shows you how diabolical and crafty and how much of a master manipulator he is. He's setting up this narrative about somehow his bank account information was stolen by Lene, et cetera, et cetera. No proof of this whatsoever, but this is all in anticipation of what he's going to bring to the forefront later on down the line. All right? One more time.
Lene Stacks, throat goat, hood rat, jump off, fishy coochie. Fishy coochie, the queen of fishy coochie. I believe she may have taken information regarding the bank account of FDMG.
See that? He is diabolical. Let's keep going.
And my personal. I discussed this with the attorneys. The attorneys told me that it would be in my advantage if Siobhan Stone, throat goat, or Pastor Bussy tries to access my personal account or the school.
See, he's making sure he's saying his personal and his the FDMG account. And by the way, the Pastor B, that's who he calls me that. So now he's trying to put me into it too. See, automatically I know that he's lying because I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Okay, it's extremely unlikely that Lene has anything to do with that either. Okay, again, I can't speak for her. It's extremely unlikely. Okay, but you see how he's putting me in there because he's setting all this up because he knows what's going to come down the line. See, now if I hadn't exposed that receipt, the munition, I have a sense that Umar, he would have waited even longer to try to address this particular issue. It's also possible that he would have never addressed the issue. See, but I forced his hand when I broke that story later on down in the timeline. This makes sense. But you see how he's already trying to set up a false narrative, and he's trying to put Lene in it and put me in it under this idea notion that somehow there's something going on with his bank accounts, meaning his personal bank account and the FDMG bank account. All right, let's continue.
Account because federal crime. Access my personal account or the school's account because that is a federal crime. So we have a watch on my account and the school's account to see if Pastor Bussy or Throat Goat Siobhan is going to try to compromise my accounts.
Okay, again, there's a watch on your account. All right.
Because that is a Fed charge. If they mess with the school's account, that is a Fed charge. If she gives information about the school account to anybody else, that is a Fed charge.
All right. That's the first thing I want to show you guys. Okay, he's telegraphing it. He's setting it up for later. Umar knows what's coming down the line, so he has to set up a false narrative. It's a lie, okay, that includes Lene and myself that somehow we're trying to access his bank accounts. Did he provide any information on that? Any receipt on that? No, he didn't, because there is none. See, furthermore, he's trying to make it seem as if they're watching the bank account. Okay, that's interesting too, because if they were watching their bank account all the way back on June 9th of 2025, well, how does that play out later? I'm gonna try to remember to bring up this point later on if I don't forget. But you see what he's doing here. Okay, now what Umar does on the 17th of June is he's over in Africa living it up. Now, by the way, when he does this particular video, he begs for money throughout. He's telling people, because he says he needs to get a defense fund and he needs to raise this money. Well, part of it was because he was going over to Africa. He needed money. Money's gone. Okay. Secondarily, he knew what was coming down the line, so he needs to start begging, and he started ramping up the begging in this particular video. I don't have it that section in this particular one, but understand, many of you guys remember this, hit the one. He was asking for money because he needs to set up a legal fund, because he has to sue me and sue Lene potentially and all this other stuff. Well, that's just to get more money. Why? Well, one, because he was going over to Africa, but two, he knew already that he didn't have any money. He needed money to go over to Africa so he can live it up while he over there. Then he needed money when he gets back because he knew what was coming down the pipe with this munition coming down, right? He has until the 25th of this month to pay these fees, all right? Did he know about this going back to June 9th? Yes, he did. June 9th of 2025? Yes, he did. Okay, and I have evidence for that as well. January, February, March, April, May, June. No, excuse me, July 9th. Let me correct myself. July 9th, all right? That video that we would just watch. He knew back then. All right. Let's go to the next one here. I just want to give an example. See, Umar, he goes back over to Africa. He's not handling business. Here's an example of that. See, Umar, even at this point, he knows that he owes, what was it? What was the figure? 33,000? Excuse me, $38,388.22. He knew. Okay, that's why he's setting up this whole narrative about his bank account situation. Right? But instead of doing what he should be doing is resolving this issue over here in the United States of America, he begs to get money out of black people up over here. Then he goes over to Africa and he lives it up, but then he comes back broke again. He has to beg again. See this? This goes to show you he's not serious. Let's keep going.
This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple of dollars.
Now he comes back to the United States and he comes up with this story. And many of you guys remember this because this is what caused a lot of people to start going in. You guys remember this? Hit the one. All right. Here we go.
This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple of dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th. Only to discover that I could not log into my account.
Okay, now listen to what he says. Let me go back. Watch this.
He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple of dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th.
Okay, now remember, on July 9th, he said they were watching his account, but wouldn't he know that? If there was something that was going on by this point on the 25th of July, wouldn't he have been notified by that if they were quote unquote watching his account? That's the point I want to make from that previous video, right? If they were watching your account, Umar, wouldn't you be watching your account too? You see you see what I'm saying with this guy? He's diabolical with it. Let's keep going. It's subtle, but I see that, you know, he's crafty. Let's go.
Only to discover that I could not log into my account. I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. They had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account.
Okay, first he says they have no record.
So then I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen.
Now they're frozen. But you see how this ties back to July 9th with what Umar was talking about back in July? How potentially Lenon had gotten his bank account information and that I was somehow involved. You see what he's doing here? He set it up in advance.
Both bank accounts have been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told.
Hey, why would you ask that question? Why would you ask the bank? Hey, is it because of any fraud that I've been involved with on this account? What's up, lady? You know, if something happened to one of my bank accounts, I wouldn't be like call the bank, be like, yeah, it's frozen. Well, is it frozen because of some fraud I've been committing? See, when he gets to lying, he lies so much, but sometimes it just gets so outlandish with this guy. Let's keep going.
As well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account in the FDMG account.
Hey, you see how he telegraphs this? So, Cookie Crush chat. Logically, therefore, who is he talking about? Someone. It's implied here, but who was he saying back on July, what was it, July 9th? Yeah, July 9th. Who is he talking about? You see how, I mean, I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It's extremely unlikely that Lenon has anything. I mean, it's astronomically unlikely. But you see how he sets this up way in advance. He plants the seed so that when he comes back later with this story, and all the while he knows what's going on. He knows what's going on behind the scenes with the city of Wilmington and how potentially by the 2050 he doesn't come up with this money that they're going to end up selling these properties at auction. See, and I'm going to explain something else to you based upon me really dissecting this whole scenario and this whole situation with Umar. What Umar was attempting to do, but he fumbled it, and he didn't have his lie clear enough. His lie was so outlandish, he was unable to pull this off. What he was attempting to do was to make his followers believe that somehow he had the money to pay these bills, totaling $38,288.22, but that he didn't have access to the funds because his bank accounts were frozen. That's what he wants people to believe, but he's not able to pull it off. You guys understand what I'm saying here? He wanted to paint this narrative that he has the money. Instead, it's not that he don't have the money. It's that he doesn't have access to his accounts because first they couldn't find it, but then all of a sudden they were frozen, right? Then later he says they're canceled. I mean, he just comes up. But see, because he was unable to get his lies straight, people saw through that earlier on. So he couldn't really pull that that card that I have money to pay it, but I don't have access to the money to pay it because Lene and Lenon, they've broken into my bank accounts. And my bank accounts are frozen. I know it doesn't make sense, but does it make sense what I'm explaining to you guys? See, Umar, he's something else. He's something else. All right, let's keep going.
I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account.
Yeah, if you guys hit the like button, if you enjoyed the show at any point, I'd appreciate it. There is a poll question. Make sure you get your vote in. Also, we have 3,218 people here already. And if you're enjoying the show, go and hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. The poll question, by the way, is, did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? We're going to get into that a little bit later on in the show. We already have 1,652 votes. 95% said yes, and 5% said no. All right. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
In the FDMG account. To my personal account and the FDMG bank accounts have been frozen. I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude.
Okay, and that's ridiculous. Banks, they will get this cleared up in a matter of days. Umar, he's still saying currently that his bank account's frozen. You guys understand that 3 weeks later, he's still saying, over 3 weeks, he's saying that his bank account's still frozen. It's ridiculous. Here we go.
They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Medea went public. That's when Medea went public.
See that? See, I broke the story with Lene. You see what he's doing here?
Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when Medea went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa.
Okay, and I don't think it was July. I think what he meant to say was June. I would have to go and look, but I see what he's attempting to do here. Matter of fact, let me find out for sure, because I do have it inside of my secondary notes here. Actually, let me let it play. I'll pull it up myself. I just want to verify what he's saying there.
Line of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th. That's when Medea went public. That's when Medea went public.
That's right.
Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th. That's when Medea went public.
Yeah, I see what he's doing. He's just getting confused. That was in June. Yeah, that's what he meant to say.
July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa.
So he leaves for South Africa the day after he does the video that we just covered because he goes to Africa twice, but the video where Umar the aquarium or whatever he said, the fish tank video. Okay, That's that video that he's talking about. Anyway, let's go.
July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my
Yeah, he's fixing this.
I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested.
Hey, by the way, you see how he telegraphed this way back on the 9th? He telegraphed all of this. Okay. Just want to make that point. Huge point.
And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. And I
see what Umar doesn't realize is that even how he's attempting to frame this with the dates, it still doesn't make sense. He's actually thought about that. He thought about, okay, well, what would be the time frame wherein this suspicious activity is supposed to take place? Even though I said back on the 9th of June, wait, excuse me, the 9th of July, January, February, March, April, May, June, yeah, 9th of July, that my bank account, that they had been, it was under investigation. They were watching my bank account. So that's what I'm saying. If you put all the pieces together, it doesn't make sense. Even the timeline that he's trying to spin, it doesn't make any sense.
I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy.
Yeah, I find this to be interesting because it would lead me to believe that there is something going on with his bank accounts. I don't think it is what Umar is trying to, the narrative that he's spinning about them being hacked. It's more likely, and again, I don't know this as a statement of fact, but I think deductive reasoning. If Umar is going to say, don't send me any checks or money, basically what he's saying, don't send me nothing and I have to actually go to the bank in order to deposit or anything like that. For him to say that, it would lead me to believe that there's something going on with his bank accounts, and that he would much prefer that people send it to PayPal because that's automatic money and it's not subject to his bank account. And that being said, you put these pieces together, I'm going to speculate and say that it's possible that the city of Wilmington, that they put a lien on his bank accounts to try to get money out of him for the amount that he owes, which is $38,388.22. That's more likely than the narrative that Umar is trying to spin here. See, again, when you deal with people like Umar, these pathological liars never take anything that they say at face value. Just because they say something doesn't mean that it's true. Okay, if they don't provide a receipt to back it up, then you shouldn't believe it. Okay, it's just something I've learned as I've researched Umar. Never take anything he says at face value. Okay, unless he provides a receipt to back it up, don't take it at face value. And what Umar will do from time to time, he'll sprinkle a little bit of truth, but then there's a whole bunch of lies to paint a narrative, and that's what he's been doing throughout out this. So, what I would speculate to say, I would say that yeah, there's something going on with his bank accounts, but it has nothing to do with them being hacked. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Okay, I know that that's not the case. Okay, if there is something going on with his bank account, then it's probable that there's some sort of a lien on his bank account. It could be child support too. Who knows? It could be student loans. Who knows? Okay. All right.
PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, bro.
Yeah, you see his body language twitching and with his ears and all this stuff. Yeah, he looks horrible too right here. Right side of his face all puffy. Looks like he got punched in the side of his head.
Brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now.
See, this is what I mean. I think this is something that's kind of got lost in the sauce with all these shenanigans. And that is to say that Umar wants people to believe that he does have money in those accounts, but that he simply doesn't have access to those accounts. And that's why he needs money. But that's also why he doesn't have the money to pay this $38,280.22. Very crafty on his part.
Because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan Africanism.
Wow, we got 3,629 people in the building. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Make sure you get your vote in. We already got 2,000 votes in already. Did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? 95% said yes, and 5% said no. Chat room is blowing up. Thank you guys. Everyone inside the Cook Quartet's undefeated. We also have I can't see the likes right now. Let me update this so I can. Yeah, we're already at 932 likes. Okay, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Good question. I appreciate y'all. Let's go.
For the first time in my life is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account.
See, this doesn't make sense. Now he's saying if it's frozen or if it's canceled, which one is it? See, this leads me to believe now that this is a total lie, even a bank account situation.
So,
see, this would make me believe that Umar just doesn't have any money in his personal account or in his bank account or in the FDMG account. See, this is what I'm saying. I think we did a poll on this, but this is what I mean when we deal with someone like Umar. He's such a pathological liar, and he lies so much, and oftentimes he trips up on his lies. See? With me, I can see, like, I could tell like where he's going with that, but with that lie, but then you can hear the next lie and it contradicts that first lie, or the lie that he told 3 months ago. So which one is it? Is it that it's frozen, or if it was canceled? And if it's canceled, that's so you can get your money back. That would mean that there's money in there. I don't think there ain't any money in there, to be honest with you.
Of my money, I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary.
Yeah.
So the Prince of Pan
Yeah. How does he not know what's going on with his bank accounts? It's ridiculous. Look, anyway, thanks, Chris.
Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars, I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist.
See, he's given his personal, he hasn't used that one in a long time. Yeah, personal one.
At yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for.
Okay, that's a lie too. Okay, I have videos where he was asking for birthday gifts and people send him money for this and personal stuff. He says my personal blah blah blah. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but Umar, don't lie about it. Okay, Drew said, "What's with this?" Yeah, this is something that someone had outlined. I didn't notice it the first time we covered this video, but people were talking about it inside the chat room. No, nobody. Cook said, "Don't miss nothing," and it looked like someone punched him punched him right here. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, that probably might have been a plug. So you need to get on here and get on this Instagram track and get to walking, get to stepping, because I need my money. Okay, let's go.
$1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve.
How you doing?
But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going
to see, this is where he's trying to tie it back to what he owes the city of Wilmington, $38,208.22. You guys see what he's doing? Okay, if you guys understand what he's doing, hit the one. He's something else.
I have never asked the people for $1 in my life.
Up,
I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is all.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Jessica, because I'll be doing that too.
So frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is.
What's up, Kev? Yeah, but you see, he set all this up going all the way back. Just want to prove my point again, going back to July 9th. Then here we are in July, in this video, July 25th. He set all this up way in advance. There was a part I missed too. If you guys, I apologize. I got to make this point. I got to rewind this just a little bit.
PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have cash.
Yeah, I know. That's I couldn't find that part again. But yeah, how is it frozen when he said it if it's frozen? Yeah, and he's all over the place because he's lying. That's why.
CashApp, nor does FDMG have CashApp. I do not have a CashApp. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Or my PayPal.
Say it like
PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start.
Keep going.
Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors. Newark, New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina, I'ma see you. Kenya, January, I'ma see you. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for a certificate of occupancy. I don't have any money in my pocket because my account is frozen. If you could send a few dollars to Dr. Umar for Apple Pay or PayPal, I would greatly appreciate it. Black Queens forever. Snow Bunnies never. Enjoy your weekend. Leo season forever. Peace and Pan Africanism.
Yeah, Crystal. They call Umar Jermaine Jackson in the movie. He started dancing and shit. You know, they used to do the robot back then. Umar, he started dancing. He got, all right. So it looks like everyone's seeing what's going on here. Okay. Shout out to the Cook Crush chat. Let's keep going here. We just watched a video where Umar, he talks about his bank accounts were frozen. And then the next one is, I think the next one is Umar, where he gives an update. It's an FDMG update. Let me make sure though. Hold on one second.
All I want to say to you.
Yeah. So this is the update video. So let's do this. Let me do super chats and then we're going to do Umar's update video. Okay. Because I want to make sure I stay on top of these super chats. All right. Let me get back into here. Chat room is going crazy. Thank you guys so much. We almost got 4,000 people here this evening. Thank you guys, everyone, for tuning on in. Okay, I got yours earlier. Thanks, Step to Barbara. I appreciate it. Ren K became a new member. Thank you so much, Ren. No sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Daxter says, Jermaine, shame. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Daxter, for the super chat. Brandon says, hey, Cook Fresh Chat, I can't lie. I was anticipating you reacting to this drama, and I can't get enough of Awaken. The movie is over rough with Umar looking bad. Yeah, Umar, he was looking bad. And I know why, too. I know why. I think when I do, I don't think it's in part 2 of the, I'm breaking up the interview that I did with Mary Ann. I think it's probably going to be part 4, where she talks about how she talks about the schedule, very rigorous. They would start early in the morning, real early in the morning, and it would go past midnight. And then she explained how Umar, he would always have energy. Well, I know why. I have the video to prove it too. Okay, I don't want to say too much, but I will say this: that Umar, he was looking bad, you know. But I think that it's just indicative of Umar's lifestyle. See, not only was Umar doing something to make sure he had energy, I'm gonna leave it right there, but he was also not getting any type of rest, because part of why he was out there, he was exploiting these black women, having them come to his hotel motel room. So when he had time to sleep, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Umar. There are times where he don't sleep for days. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, and that's in part, Brandon, why Umar was looking raggedy. You remember when Umar did the Kobe rant? That's Umar when he ain't slept for days. I'm gonna leave it right there. Thank you, Brandon, for the super chat. Antoine says, bye bye, Umar, bye bye, Umar, bye bye, Umar. It's time to see you go. But you know what? He like a gremlin. You know, he'll just, he get some water, he just repopulate it. Here you go again. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this plays itself out. Thanks, Antoine. Popular says, if his accounts is still frozen, it means someone got a court order to freeze his assets. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. At least, yeah. I can't believe there are black folks still falling for this. Yeah, and this is if his accounts were frozen. See, it's actually possible that those accounts aren't frozen. It's just he don't have any more money in those accounts. That's possible. See? Those are the two options, really. It's either, well, really, there's 3 options. He lies all the time. Either there's nothing wrong with his accounts and he has money in them, which is highly unlikely, or there's nothing wrong with his accounts and he has no money in there. So he has to concoct this story to get money because he knows what's coming down the line with these buildings potentially being taken from him via sheriff's sale at auction, or that there's been some sort of a lien put on these bank accounts. That could be from the city of Wilmington. That could be from child support. That could be from student loans. I mean, there's all types of things that this could be associated. This could be dealing with taxes, personal tax. You know, the IRS. So there's no telling. But if in fact they are frozen, there has to be some sort of legal process to get them frozen. But Umar, he's not telling anyone about that. Okay. I mean, who knows? He may be investigated by, you know, who knows? Okay? Thanks, Populist Uprising. Good point. Smitty Boy says, I'm waiting to see Umar go live, and out of nowhere, you see a demolition crane with the wrecking ball destroying those buildings. Then he blames everyone for it. And then he says he needs more money so that he can get the buildings undemolished. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You notice Umar, he hasn't been online in video, at least in video format, for a while because of it. You guys wait. If I get Lenon on here tomorrow, you guys wait and see. She may drop the bomb tomorrow. We're gonna see. Thanks, Smitty Boy, for super chat. I appreciate it. Lewis Suck says, let's just hope the city of Wilmington can relocate the zombies at FDMG. Here we go. I know Trump wants to cut Section 8. Maybe Jay Morrison can volunteer to black. He can volunteer to Black House. I have a video with Lewis Suck where Jay Morrison, he was saying that Dad asked me, because they were saying we need, you know, there ain't no money coming in. We need. What about the investors? Or would you be willing to sell the Black House and then, you know, issue dividends to the investors? And he said, I'm not gonna sell them. We're not gonna sell the Black House. And then it was like a month later, he sold the Black House and kept the money to himself. Boy, he's something else. All right, thanks to us. I don't know what they're gonna do. We're gonna have to wait and see. Laura says, "Hi, Mr. Honor. What happened with that offer from the Saint to help the?" Don't call. Don't do that. Don't call Umar dummy. I have no idea. There was a white guy that was online and said that he wanted to buy one of the buildings too. But like I said, it's highly unlikely that Umar would sell. At least at this phase, it would make more sense. Well, I know it's still wrong, but it would make more sense for him to either figure out a way to come up with this $38,028, which is it isn't a lot when it comes to the amount of money that Umar could get out of people. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not significant, but it's not a lot in the bigger scheme of things. Okay, either he's going to come up with the money or he's not. If he comes up with the money, he can put it down on these bills, or he can keep the money and just keep, and let these go off to auction. And then with whatever money that's left over, there's a process that he can go through in order to recoup that money. And then he could just keep going with the scam or keep that money plus the amount of money that people are donating to him to save the school. And then by that point, who knows? He may be sitting on $150,000, maybe $200,000 and walk away. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. User55 says, lots of Umar Johnson fans are single mothers. I try to give them grace, but how can they hear Fishy Cookie's throat goat and say, this is the man I want my son to be? Yeah. That's the cognitive dissonance. I try my best not to criticize Umar Johnson followers. I try not to, because I see them as victims, and either they'll come to the truth or they won't. Okay. My job is to present facts. I don't misrepresent the facts. I don't bend things. You know, when people come to me and they say, I have information. Okay, well, what information do you have? Do you have receipts on that? And if you ain't got no receipts, I don't want to hear nothing. See? All right. If you can't provide me with the receipts that are to my liking, then I don't, you know, or if you don't have nothing that I don't already know. Did I say that right? If you do not have anything, now let me say it this way. If you have information that I do not know, okay, come on. But if you're just telling me stuff that I knew like 5 years ago, I really don't want to hear it. See, I don't mean to be harsh, but that's how I look at this. But when it comes to Umar, the levels of cognitive dissonance that his followers have, it's incredible. But I try to give them grace. I try to give them as much grace as possible. I try to give Umar grace, you know? I've tried my best to do that. But at the end of the day, my job is not to persuade Umar Johnson followers. My job is to present the truth with facts, not bending the truth, and receipts. And then people can make their own, draw their own conclusion at the end of the day. But I know the truth. Umar is a con man. He's a scammer. I know that as a statement of fact. And I've proven it time and time again. Just real quick, the fact that Umar in 2025 is still telling people that he hasn't raised $1 million, and I've already proven without a shadow of a doubt that he's raised $1.67 million since 2019. We're not counting 2014, 15, 16, 17, or 18. See, that's a scam right there. To tell people that you didn't collect a certain amount of money, but you collected way over that, and you're still asking for money for a school that does not exist and not one black boy has been educated. That's diabolical. All right, thanks, user 225. JM says threw his homie under the bus, all because he needed a couple of dollars. yeah. That sounds like a rap lyric. Thanks, JM7. I got MJ on the thing too. Right on. Antoine says, Umar, you looking for a watch? I got a few. yeah, you got a few of them in your coat when you open up like that. Thanks, Antoine. Carlos Rodriguez said, keep exposing this clown. I sure will. I'll continue to do my best to do so. Thank you so much, Carlos, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Carlos Rodriguez. Gracias. Mr. Smiley says, Leonard, remember he also said that they froze his PayPal after he got over 100,000 in donations. He was probably lying back then too. It's possible. I hadn't thought about that, but it is possible that he was lying about that back. I think it was over 100. Yeah, it was over 100. I think it was 125,000. I could pull up the video where he said this is a theme that he runs over and over again about his bank accounts being frozen. In retrospect, now that you bring it up, it's possible that wasn't the case back then. But he just likes to throw these stories. Part of it too with Umar is he always wants to seem as if he's the victim, and everyone's persecuting him, and everyone's trying to sabotage him. But it's really Umar's own ineptitude. Like he really doesn't understand like what it means to be adult, how to handle business. He's over there, partying over in Africa, knowing that he got all this other stuff coming out. But instead of handling business over here in the United States of America, he begs for money from black people over here, go over there in Africa, spend it over there in Africa, and then he comes back begging for more money and more money. I need some more and some more and some more. Right. So we don't know with Umar. Just because he says that they froze his PayPal back then doesn't mean that it's true. Just because he said they paid in 2025 that they froze his bank accounts, it doesn't mean that it's true. Never take anything he says at face value. Now that you bring it up, yeah, it's possible he was lying back then too. It's totally possible. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Romano, for super chat. Appreciate it. Michelle says, Medea, what does Tyler Perry have to do with this? yeah. He calls the name Medea. Yeah, that's just Umar. Okay, he's a goofy. He's a goofy. Thanks, Michelle. Dr. K says, Umar is making everyone rich. Deep down inside, we love Umar. I can't say that I love him. Okay, I'm not going to say that. You know, I wish him the best. I would like for him to do better in life. You know, I would like for him to get his life in order. But he's chosen not to, you know. And even if he decided to do that today, Dr. Clay, he could, with the support that he has from his followers, he could do, and they would support him too if he decided to do that. But there's a lot of things that he would have to stop doing. And there's a lot of things that he would have to start doing in order to get back on track. I don't think Umar is willing to do that. He lives in a delusional world where he believes literally that he's the Black Messiah. I mean, what can you tell someone who thinks like that? Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Louis Suck says, that's like one of those 419 scams. I'm a prince, y'all. I have $5 trillion in my account, but don't have access to my funds and need a small $38,338 to access my trillions, of which I'll give you 5%. yeah. That's what it sounds like, except he don't promise that he gonna give you no 5%. That's Umar, right? yeah. But the idea, I think, with Umar is he wants people to think that he has money in these accounts, but he hasn't had access to it, and that's the reason why he hasn't been able to pay this $38,388.22. Okay, that's a good one. Thanks, Louis Leck. Louis Leck also says he keeps calling her Medea. Medea is a man. He wants that Tyler Perry. He wants that Tyler Perry jaw. All right, we're not going to be bringing up that man jaw anymore because that was highly inappropriate. Very suspect, I have to say. That man jaw. All right. Thanks, Louis. Sal says, quick chat, if you can send me a few dollars. Yeah, that's what Umar said. He's supposed to be the most requested scholar with 6 degrees, right? But he needs y'all to send him. I ain't sending him nothing. He gonna say he needs y'all to send him a couple bucks. That's Umar. Thanks, Sal. Deborah says he claims that the bank was still investigating, but somehow he knows the period of fraudulent activity. Yeah, good point. And that is a particular, and that it's a particular person. Yeah, that's a really good point. So if they're still investigating, but they know when the fraudulent activity took place, why would they still be investigating? They would have nipped this in the bud a long time ago, right? That's a very good point. And based upon what Umar said he was alluding to back on July 9th, he knew who the people were, the culprits were. That would be Lenon and me. Well, that wouldn't be difficult for the bank to kind of, check IP addresses. That ain't gonna take but what, a minute or two? See, the story doesn't make sense. It's a really good point right here. Story doesn't make sense. See? Thanks, Deborah. Holly B says, how does he get PayPal, Venmo if his account is frozen? Yeah, I've asked that question too. Also, they canceled his old PayPal, so whose bank account is it tied to? PayPal owns Venmo. You're right about that. I hadn't thought about that. There's no telling Holly B with Umar. He could have other people that he's funneling this money through. In a sense, it's like a form of washing. You guys ever heard that term? Like they wash money? It'd be what they call dirty money. And they'll just circulate it around, different people. And that's a way of washing it so they can be tracked back to whoever initially got the money in the first place. So who knows what he has going on behind the scenes. This is really interesting. Same thing with PayPal. If the bank accounts are frozen, how are you still using your PayPal account? Because your PayPal account has to be associated. It has to be connected to a bank account. At least the last time from what I remember. Maybe different now in 2025. Venmo, great questions. So it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. The other thing is that if your bank account is frozen, it wouldn't be frozen for this length of time. It's been about 3 weeks because he's posting I think it was yesterday. He's posting how his bank accounts are still frozen. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I have an idea or ideas, but I don't know exactly. Thank you, Holly B, for being a member for 43 months. Dude says, I come and check on this stuff every so often. And it's sad it's gotten to this point. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. It's sad. It's been going on for such a long time. You would think that people would wake up. The thing is that with the nature of the internet is information, right? And Umar, he's been at this for such a long time. You would think that at a certain point, people would just figure it out and be like, okay. And it just keeps getting worse. That's the thing with Umar. It's not like things are better for him. His life's not any better. See? We can't say that. His relationship with his family is not any better. With his daughters, it's not any better. With his baby mamas, it's not any better. His financial situation isn't any better. His health is not any better. That alone, I mean, people should look at that and say, okay, well, something's not quite right there. What's going on here? You know, and even that alone. And then this is the person that people think he's going to open up a school and he's going to be a principal and a teacher and an accountant and all this other stuff that he says he's going to do while he's allegedly traveling around the world and the primary caretaker of his mom at the same time. I mean, people got to really deal with the reality of the situation. See, Umar's not even in a place to run anything. He can't even keep his room clean, his mama closet clean. See, it's sad. It's really gotten sad. But again, Umar wants to blame everyone else, but he does not want to hold himself accountable. Who's the common denominator in all of this? It's Umar. See? Thanks, dude, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, let me do one more, and then we'll get back to the video, and I'll come back to some of these other ones a little bit later. Laurie says, I barely have that. Clearly, he thinks his followers are unintelligent and will believe anything he say. Lying out. Okay, can you lock this fool up already? Yeah, but Laurie, with Umar, I said this, I think, last week, that Umar, he depends on people's ignorance. The only way that he's able to get away with what he's doing is through people's ignorance. That's why he creates this narrative about who he is and all these things. I'm saving black boys from the school to prison pipeline. I'm a school psychologist. He's not. I'm a therapist. He's not. Okay, when was the last time y'all saw Umar sitting in an office, you know, doing anything? When was the last time you saw Umar live streaming from an office? He'll live stream. Where is he live streaming from? In front of the buildings, abandoned building. Every once in a while, inside these abandoned buildings, inside a rental car, at a park, walking down the street in my 6'4". Let me stop. See? He's created this illusion about himself that people buy into. And that's how and as a consequence, people are ignorant as to who Umar really is. And that's really what I try to shine light on. It's just, you know, this is who the guy is. You know, it is what it is. Just here's the receipts. Okay. So it's right there in plain sight. But the way that he's able to operate and he's been able to get away with this for so long is because he's painted this fictitious character. It's a delusional world that he lives in. And a lot of his followers, I ain't saying all of y'all, but a lot of y'all, you've bought into that delusion. You guys have a shared delusion about who Umar is, and that's why he's been able to go on with this for this length of period. It's been a long time, really long time. Thank you, Laurie, for super chat. Okay, I'm going to come back to these other super chats. I want to continue with our analysis of this video, and thank everyone so much for the super chats so far. I do appreciate it. I promise we'll get to all of them. Again, did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? We have 2,814 votes. 95% said yes, 5% said no. So overwhelmingly, people are saying yes, which is awesome. We have over 4,000 people watching this live stream right now, and over 1,300 likes already. So thank you guys so much. We got quite a bit to still get to. Okay, so I'm trying to keep our pace going here. Okay, let's get back to the video. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats, and also shout out to the Cook Course Chats Undefeated. Let's go. So this is Umar's update video. And this is from August 4th of 2025. So we're moving closer to present day. Here we go.
It's thank you to those who have been riding with the Prince of Pan Africanism. Thank you to those who have been standing strong.
Yeah, let me get some smoothie real quick. I'll be right back.
With Ifatunde Oguntade. Thank you to my day one ride or dies. Thank you to the haters, the instigators, the defamers. That's all I'm going to say. To the haters, instigators, and defamers, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, this is y'all's principle. See, by this point, you guys remember, by this point, a lot of people were criticizing Umar. And particularly when that whole bank account frozen thing, a lot of people was like, what? And then also when he was the fish tank stuff, when you talk about Lenon, a lot of people didn't appreciate that. A lot of the female followers of Umar, some of the male ones too, they heard that and they just not take a liking to that type of talk. You guys remember that? Just vile. He's 50. He about to be 51 talking like that. So by this time, there's so many people who are talking about Umar online and expressing their disgust and their disappointment. A lot of people disappointed by this guy. And that's how Umar deals with it. He throws up the dirty birds, and he does it in a way that, in my opinion, is very moist. I don't mean to be like that, but that's not how men throw up that dirty bird. That's the very moist way of doing it, Umar. I'm sorry. I should have done. I apologize. I apologize. I should do it's true though, but that's y'all's principle. See? I'm sorry. I sound like one time. I still remember to this day. Pocket Watch. Someone that called in, they were talking crazy. And Pocket Watch with JT was like, "Yeah, that moist comment. We with this moist comment." I laughed so hard. That's why I had to get mine in. Okay. Shout out to Pocket Watch with JT. He shot me out recently. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go.
To the haters,
yeah, well,
instigators, and defamers, that's all we gonna say.
Here we go.
That's all we go. We ain't got no more words. We ain't got no more words, brothers and sisters. I'm at the
Umar, you ain't got no business with doing nothing with no fingers. I'm going to advise you, sir. From now on, don't do nothing with no fingers. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The accounts are still frozen. We're looking into it. The accounts are still frozen, brothers and sisters. We're supposed to hear back Friday. We're supposed to hear back Friday.
He's supposed to hear back Friday, right? You guys keep that in mind for later. Y'all chat room, stop. Don't do that. This chat room is really it's bad. It's really bad. Oh man, yeah, come on, don't do that. Okay. All right. What in the world? What in the world? Somebody said Digit Tuesday. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. All right. Let's get focused. Let's get focused, family. All right, y'all. Wow. Let's keep going. Here we go.
That sounds like Monday to me. The bank is giving us the runaround. We ain't got our check back, so we about to operate attorneys. Attorneys is about to get involved because we were told that when your account gets canceled, you're supposed to get your refund check for the amount that was in the.
What does that mean? What does that mean? 5 fingers of fish? What in the world? No shake. All right. Let me get out this chat room. All right. Let me I ain't even listening. Here we go. Let's focus.
That sounds like Monday to me. The bank is giving us the runaround. We ain't got our check back, so we about to operate attorneys. All right. Attorneys is about to get involved because we were told that when your account gets canceled, you're
so now he's trying to spin this narrative how he needs to get attorneys to go after the bank.
Supposed to get your refund check for the amount that was in the account. We have not received that yet. So there's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters. There's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters.
Crazy.
But we're going to take care of all that. Stay patient. Stay positive. Stay patient. Stay positive. They messing with our bills. They're messing with our automatic payments.
Okay, see, again, him saying bills, that's just setting up the stage because he knows what's coming down the line, right? Which is this. So he knows. He knew way in advance. And by the time we get done with this live stream, I have the receipts on that. And I'll shout out the brother who came up with it, okay? Here we go.
They messing up a lot of stuff with this frozen account. They froze me and they froze the school. They froze me and they froze the school. But that's all right. That's all right. We're going to stay patient. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to see what they say on Friday, no later than Monday. But we need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling. We need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling.
What?
There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. I'm only going to say this to the Ifa Tunde faithful. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things.
This is crazy.
But I'm going to say this to the Ifa Tunde faithful. Don't get put in the book of Negroes.
See how silly this guy is? This is y'all's principle.
Don't get put in the book of Negroes. Don't get put in the book of Negroes. We know who messed our accounts up.
Okay, who's he talking about, Cookie Crush Chat? See, all of this was telegraphed going all the way back to July 9th. Y'all see this? All of this. You guys understand? All of this goes back to July 9th. Let's keep going.
And we're looking into all that right now. Trust me, there will be retribution. Oh, there will be retribution, brothers and sisters. I can't say it all right now. I can't say it all right now, but there's going to be retribution. We just got to prove a couple things.
What you got to prove?
And
Umar?
if we can prove a couple things, some people are going to be in a whole lot of trouble, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes. Ifa Tunde Nation. Ifa Tunde Nation. Ifa Tunde Nation, stay calm. But this is what I want to say.
What you got to say, Umar?
Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. You can only send a personal donation to Dr. Umar, PayPal or Venmo. PayPal is Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist or
See him rubbing his belly. Again, this is August 4th. This video is almost done.
Venmo or PayPal for personal. FDMG is FDMG Academy on PayPal. They froze my Apple Pay, brothers and sisters. The Apple Pay said you got to have an account or we got to shut it down. Apple Pay said you got to have an account or we got to shut it down. Apple Pay said you got to have an account or we got to shut it down. So they froze the Apple Pay, brothers and sisters. They trying to destroy the prince. They froze my account, froze my Apple Pay. So you got to do paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or you got to hit up the Venmo.
Okay. So that was August 4th of 2025. Okay. Now we're getting really closer in terms of timeline to present day. 4 days later, that's when I broke the story about Umar and FDMG that is in jeopardy of being sold. Many of you guys were in attendance for that live stream. I would think more of y'all have actually seen that live stream after it was archived. What I presented was the following in that particular during that particular live stream. This is the munition. Okay, we've covered it extensively, and shout out to the person that took pictures of it and sent it to me. I appreciate it. This was filed August 5th of 2025. Okay, so this goes back in time. Umar wants to act like he didn't know about it, and he didn't know that it was posted. But in terms of the process that this was all involved, it's not all of a sudden they said they're going to come up with a munition. That's not how this works. Okay, we're going to get into this a little bit deeper when we pull up some other receipts. But let me read this to you guys. I know I've covered it before, but take a warning, and I'm going to do my best to read it because I need my glasses. They're upstairs. To all persons having or claiming to have any title, interest, or lien upon the within described premises, take warning that unless the judgment for the taxes or assessments, it says taxes, but it's not a tax issue, it's the assessments stated herein, is paid within 20 days after the date hereof, or within such period of 20 days, evidence of the payment of the taxes or assessments herein, claims shall be filed in the office of the prothonotary, which evidence shall be in the form of a receipted bill or duplicate thereof, bearing date prior to the filing of the lien and the office of the notary for Newcastle County. The city of Wilmington may proceed to sell the property herein mentioned or described for the purpose of collecting the judgment for the taxes or assessments herein stated. Okay, so let's be clear about what's taking place here. Umar has 20 days from the 5th, that will be the 25th. So he basically has 6 days to get this resolved. Okay, it shows the property, and there's two parcels. So there's 610 East 17th Street. I think the other side of the street is 611. Okay, so there's 2 of these were posted, one on one side of the street, the other on the other side of the street. There's tax parcel number. There's 2 different parcel numbers. I don't have the paperwork for the other one, but I do have. I also showed. I broke the story where you can find actually you can find all this on the website. We'll go to that next. And if you look carefully, water and sewer account, a person whose name or the subject property is assessed, meaning Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, RBG International Leadership Academy, Inc. That'd be Umar. And then it says years. Notice it says taxes. It doesn't show anything because he doesn't owe any taxes. I've covered this in the past. Water and sewer charges from December 19th, 2016. He didn't acquire these abandoned buildings until February of 2019. I know I'm rehashing a lot of this, but just to be clear, what happened was when Umar acquired these abandoned buildings, he took on the liability of the water and sewer charges that had accumulated since December 19th of 2016. Okay. And then December 30th, 2024 through May 29th, I believe, 2025. Okay, and then there's exterior improvement charges of from 2021, vacant registration fees from 2020 to 2024. This is a big problem right here. Civil penalty years of 2020, and then the amount of judgment. Taxes is 0. It shows you right there. Water and sewer charges is $1,854.17. Exterior improvement charges is $156.60. Vacant registration fees is $15,500, and civil penalty charges is $300, plus interest and penalties, title search costs, proto notary fees, and sheriff costs and fees. So it's actually going to be more than notice it says principal amount. This is just the principal. The principal amount as of clocked in date total $17,810.77. Now I broke this story on let's see, August 8th of 2025. Okay, and then the second page here, this is the writ of motion. You can see at the top, it says in the Superior Court of the State of Delaware, City of Wilmington. Okay, they're filing against Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, RBG, International Leadership Academy, Inc. And then it shows a parcel there as well. There's more documents that I covered. Okay, and then there's pages that actually show the bills start to accumulate here too. Now, what I want to do is, in addition to this, okay, that's the paperwork that I received. And again, I broke that story, but then there's also the website. I did research and I found the information on the website. I want to look at that too before we move on to the next video. Let me do a screen share. All right, here we go. Is it going to allow me to do it? Here we go. Okay, if I remember to do so, I will put a link in the bottom of this live stream. I'll put it inside the comment section with notes on exactly what you can do if you guys want to look this all up yourself. This is the case ID right here, and there's 2 case IDs, okay? N25J-02114 and N25J-02115, right? Okay, let's look at this one right here. If we scroll down, you'll see Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey, and then you also see the lawyer, the attorney for plaintiff, which is the city of Wilmington, Scott G. Wilcox. But if you scroll all the way down, you'll see this itemized, and we've covered this. It's actually inside of the paperwork too, but it says initial filing motions, see image attachment. That image attachment doesn't work for some reason. For judgment details, dated docketed August 6, 2025, judgment is entered jointly and severally against Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RBG International Leadership Academy, Inc., tax parcel number 26-029-440-028 judgment. Now, this is the judgment amounts to be paid as follows. Judgment amount, this is the total, $17,810.77. Okay, water and sewer charges. This is a breakdown of that total, $1,854.17. Exterior improvement charges, $156. Vacant registration fees, $15,500. Civil penalty charges, $300. Now, what some people are doing online is they're taking the judgment amount, which is the total amount, and then they're adding this, the itemized amounts. But really, these itemized amount, if you guys add it up, it equals this amount right here, $17,810. That's why there's some people who are saying that it's double what when I broke the story, I gave the factual figure. So I want people to be clear about that. Okay, and I did the research into all of this. So this is the first one right here. Okay, so $17,810. Now here's the second one. Okay, same information going back down, except the total for this one, and this is for the other side of the street, the smaller building, is $20,577.45. All right. And then if you add up the water and sewer charges and the vacant registration fee and the civil penalty charges, you add it up and it's going to equal $20,577.45. In fact, let's do the math just in case I may be wrong. Okay, that's the thing. I don't mind being wrong. I always want to know the truth. So let me pull up my trusty calculator here. We're going to add the water and sewer charges of, let me use the keypad, $4,650.75. The vacant registration fee of $15,726.70. All right. And then the civil penalty charges of $200. And that comes up to $20,577.45. That's the judgment total. That's what you see here, $20,577.45. And then if we want to, we can go over here and do this again, because again, I like to be factual. The sewer charges over here was $1,854.17, excuse me, $54.17 plus $156.60 plus the $15,500 plus the penalty charges of $300. 34. Wait. Okay. Oh, I messed that up. I'm sorry. Let me do it again because I think it added the other thing too. The judgment amount $17,810.77. Sewer charges $1,854.17. Exterior improvement charges $156.60. Okay, I see what I did. Vacant registration fees $15,500, and then the civil penalties of $300. Okay, that comes up $17,810.77, which is the judgment amount. That's the total amount. Okay, so this is the total amount, and then this is the itemized. You add the itemized to, and in total, you're going to come up with this figure right here. And that's where I come up with. You add this to the other one here, and that's where you come up with. I came up with $38,380.22. Okay, so I just want to be clear about that because people have been reporting different numbers. I like to be factual with my information. All right. Let me see. I think that was one other thing I want to show y'all before we continue with the video. Okay, so I showed the website. Okay, now what happens next is Umar, he gives a speech for Source and Knowledge. This is on August 9th of 2025. So let's continue with this timeline here. Here we go. You gonna let me do it? Okay, hold on one second. Let me try this. Yeah, it's not letting me do it for some reason. Am I still streaming? If Cooker said, am I still streaming? Let me know. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. Okay, it's going now. Yeah, this is just kind of like a review of the this is where the bills actually show up on this page. But let's get, okay, here it is right here. Okay, so this is August 9th of 2025. I apologize. I think we're still going.
Broke the security. I could write a whole chapter on vandalism.
They haters.
Right?
That's right.
They just got my bank account froze. I got to find out what's going on. When they froze the school's account, bank ain't telling me nothing. They said I found out yesterday, but I was too busy to call them yesterday, so I got to call.
See that? He was supposed to find out the day before, even though he's kind of saying it in a crazy way. He was supposed to find out the day before, but he's saying he was too busy. So how important is this? That's why I actually think that there's nothing wrong. This leads me to believe that the bank accounts aren't frozen, or that they're frozen and he knows why.
Close the school's account. Bank ain't telling me nothing. They said I found out yesterday, but I was too busy to call them yesterday, so I got to call them Monday. Because if you close the account, give me the damn check so I can open up a new account because we got bills to pay. I don't know if it's the FBI. I don't know if it's Funky Medea. I don't know who did it. But anyway, stay focused.
It's always something with this guy.
Stay focused. Either way, they got to give us our money back. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the thing is, I've been with that same bank since I was 14 years old. It's the only bank I've been with them.
What does that have to do with anything, Umar? Furthermore, you haven't had that FDMG bank account since you were in the, well, maybe you did. Let me stop.
I got my working papers.
Quit screaming.
Just like that, without a reason, they froze. So my lawyer said, if you don't get an answer Monday, we got to go after them because you should have got a check within 4 days of them shutting the account down. Still ain't got our money yet. And my money is in my account, school money in the school account. See that? So we find out Monday.
Okay, he says they find out money, but on Monday, but obviously he didn't find out on Monday. Okay, there's always something with this guy. So that was from August 9th of 2025, and then we're going to get to the the video that Umar deleted, and this is the one that people really had enough. Okay, this is from August 12th of 2025, and here we go.
When I was school hunting in 2017.
Oh, wait, not yet. Okay, hold on one second. I want to play this just to show you how ridiculous this gets. Watch this.
2016, 2015, I looked at a school in Newark, New Jersey. It was being rented by a European Jew. I was going to rent the school. Our school was almost in Newark. Y'all don't know this, but you know now. And then the European Jew, no disrespect to the Jewish people, that he looked me up and found out who I was and said, we cannot rent to you. I'm saying all that to say that when we open up the Marcus Garvey Elementary School of the FDMG Academy, as soon as it's ready, we're going to start looking for the next school location. Are y'all following me?
Okay, why would you be looking for, anyway, watch this.
So for those of y'all who do real estate in New Jersey, I don't care if it's Newark, Trenton, Camden, Jersey City, my realtors in particular, I need you to find me a nice little school. I don't need no castle. That's a money drain. We don't want no
It's a money drain. Look who's talking.
Damn castle. I don't want Eastside High Pastor. No! Get me a school that got about 25, no more than 25 rooms. 25 rooms. I don't need 50. 25 or less. If you find a school, Dr. Umar, they got 12 classrooms. Give me. Dr. Umar, we found a little school in Newark. It got 15 classrooms. Give me. But if we could find us a nice little they not charging but $500,000, quarter.
$500,000 or $250,000.
Something around there, we can work with them.
How are you going to work with them? You ain't got no money. I thought, what are you talking about? You ain't even finished with these traps. You owe $38,388.22 to the city of Wilmington. They about to take these traps from you if you ain't get this cleared up by the 25th of the month. But you were sitting up here talking about how, we get this other school, as long as it's not a castle, and we need what we need, and give me, I need my thing of this. If it's 250,000, 500, $500,000, what are you talking about? You ain't got no money, Tommy. That's why you on here begging and making all these outlandish lies like I'm hacking your account, Lene hacking your account, Swaggle Nito hacking your account, Marcus hacking your account, God Little Prince has been hacking your account all month. What are you talking about, Umar? Stop. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. He always do this. That's why he get on my nerves sometimes. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Y'all feel me? Because once we open up the first school, the rest of them are going to start popping like popcorn. Do y'all feel me?
They're going to start popping like popcorn. You don't stop. You Redenbacher goofy.
They say the first one is the hardest one. And the only thing we got left to do in the first one is what? Put the tile down. And by the way, if there's anybody here who does tile,
he just keep going.
Or sells the tile. Listen to me, Newark. It's the only thing we got left to do in the school. Put the tile on the concrete. So if there's any brothers and sisters here who lay it or know where we can buy it for a reasonable price, let me know. You got my number. We ready to move now. If you call me today, Dr. Umar, I got a tile supplier. And
why are you worrying about tile? You should be worrying about this $38,388.22 so you can keep these traps, right? What are your priorities, Umar?
I lay tile. What you gonna charge me to cover up these 12 floors? Let's go. Once the tile done, we applying for certificate of occupancy. We done, y'all.
Yeah, he always
tile and done. So find me somebody.
Tile and done. That's crazy. Tile and done. You know there's a whole bunch more stuff need to be done up in them bandos. Cut it out, Umar.
Who do tile? And ladies, if you lay tile, we can have a nice little tile party.
There you go. He always got to go there every single time. All right. So that's the source and knowledge video. Now let's get to the deleted video. And what happened was Umar did the video. It's horrible. We covered it, and right after we covered it, he takes it down because we went in on him. Y'all remember this. All right, let's go to the next video. Shout out to Good Crush Chat. Thank you guys. We got, oh, wow, we got 4,422 people in the building. I appreciate y'all. 3,386, 3,425 votes. 3,000, I think it is. 3,436 votes. Did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? 95% said yes, not 5% said no. And we're getting close to that because we're getting closer to the timeline to get up to present day. All right. And we have over 1,500 likes. Thanks so much. If you enjoyed any of this show so far and you haven't hit that like button, I encourage you to do so. That'll help with the algorithm. Okay. Shout out to Cook Crush Chat's Undefeated. Let's keep on. Here's a video that Umar deleted, and you will see why. Watch.
Special announcement. FDMG Academy bank accounts are still frozen.
Okay, August 12th of 2025, and it's still frozen.
FDMG Academy bank accounts are still frozen. Dr. Umar personal bank account is still frozen. Dr. Umar personal bank account is still frozen. Brothers and sisters, we are fighting this war against FDMG and Dr. Umar Tunde. We are fighting this war against FDMG and Dr. Umar Tunde. We were supposed to get a refund within 4 days of our accounts being shut down. We were supposed to get a refund within 4 days of our accounts being shut down. We still haven't got our refund. We still haven't got our refund. We still haven't got our refund. So,
Billie Jean.
Not only are the accounts frozen, make sure y'all hit my Venmo and my PayPal. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist.
You right about that.
PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or tap my Venmo.
That's what Umar's bank account in Antarctica have in common. They both frozen, family. That's crazy. The Southwest, you crazy. Let's go.
Text me for the links to donate to FDMG. Text me for the links to support Dr. Umar. 215-989.
Umar, he say R and we when he need money for people. we gotta pay these bills. I ain't gotta pay shit. I got my own bills to pay. Trust me, all these kids. What you talking about? You said, what are we doing? You know, we gotta get no. And our bills, nah, homeboy. Those is your bills. You don't want my bills. See, if it's ours, then that means my bills is yours too. Shit. You must be out your mind, Umar. He always do that. Whenever he needs the bills to get paid, is we and R. Okay. Umar funny, bro. Who thinks like that? All of a sudden, listen, Johnson, I got some bills. We got to pay these bills, my brother. That's crazy. All right. Umar, don't put me in it. You can put some of these people. You can put some of these people in the cookie contract and they'll pay some of these bills, but I ain't doing it, homeboy. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, wow, Umar crazy. All people have to do is watch for that boy. You ain't never lied. Make sure you email me back too. Lene's supposed to be on tomorrow, boy. Y'all, boy, I'm gonna tell you. Let me go check my email. All right, let's get back to our bills, Cookie Crush.
9858.
Let's get back to
215-989-9858. On August the 5th, brothers and sisters.
Oh, here we go.
On August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus.
See, I want you guys to remember, I broke the story. Okay, this is from, he's doing this video August 12th of 2025. I broke the story August 8th, 4 days prior. And that's these receipts right here. I don't know what you guys think. I wonder if I hadn't broke the story, would Umar have even come out with this? What do y'all think? Yes or no? One or two? If I hadn't broke the story 4 days prior, and then people were talking, I ain't gonna say it went viral, but people were talking about it. It got a gang of views, I know that. I'm talking about other people were picking it up and they were covering it. Do you guys think that Umar, if I didn't break the story, do you think that Umar would have even brought this up? I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. And I see a lot of twos in here. There's some ones, but I see a lot of twos. I don't think Umar would have. I think what Umar would have done, and see, I said think, because I don't know what he would. I think what he would have done was he would have filtered in the story about his bank accounts getting hacked and he doesn't have access to it. And he would have told a story like, listen, we do have some things we got to get paid right away. He wouldn't bring up the munition. He's not going to do that. He's not going to bring up that they filed against him that these schools are about to go up to auction if he don't get this paid by the 25th. I don't think Umar would have done that. He would have continued to paint the narrative, follow me on this, that he started back in July, on July 9th, where he was saying how Lenon had gotten his personal information, his bank account information, and try to throw me into it too. That's what I think Umar would have done. He would have just built on this story and this narrative that he had been, he telegraphed it. Like I said, you know how the boxers be telegraphing? That's what he did. He set this up. But see, we got it. Now I'm going to say we, because we are undefeated in it. Okay? Click across chat. It's undefeated. Hit the one. If we didn't get that information, I don't think Umar would have even brought it up. He would have continued with this narrative that he spun, going all the way back to July 9th, 2025. See? Let's continue. I'm going to tell you, this is some good shit. I'll tell you that right now, isn't it? See, I don't be watching TV shows and stuff, Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. I have been watching the matter of fact, the new episode that come out today, I think, because I'm in the sci-fi. I'm in the sci-fi. Oh, I was about to do that. Let me stop, family. Alien Earth. It's some good shit. It's classic. It's like they start off as a masterpiece. It's true to the form of real sci-fi. I'm so thankful. Anyway, I don't be wasting time. I don't have that. You know, some people, they like watching TV or they like doing different things. I don't have time. I go to work. When I'm at home, I'm dealing with these kids and my wife, and I'm kicking it with y'all. That's it. But I'm gonna tell you, ain't nothing like this bullshit right here. It's entertaining, ain't it? Let's continue. Shout out to Click Across Chat.
For unpaid vacant property registration fees of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus for unpaid vacant property registration fees.
Yeah, it is.
I repeat, on August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that, Indigo Goddess. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. You know, I enjoy you guys. I really do. Okay, y'all brought so much joy and comedy into my life. You know, I really appreciate it. It filters into every other aspect. I'm a better person. I can tell you that. So thank you guys so much. God bless y'all, including you, Umar Johnson, father. I ain't got no hate for y'all. Not at all. Not at all. See? Thanks, Indigo Goddess, for the kind words. All right, here we go.
Out a lien to auction off the campus we bought, the campus we've been working on for 6.5 years. I was not notified of this.
Again, these bills go back to when he acquired these abandoned buildings in 2019, February 2019, and then there's a backlog of bills that he acquired when he acquired these abandoned. He takes on liability going all the way back to 2016. He doesn't know about this stuff. You see what he's saying here? Okay, let's keep going.
We were not notified of this. This past weekend, without an email, This past weekend, without a letter in the mail. This past weekend, without a phone call. The city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools.
Okay, and this is the notice right here, at least for one of them, okay?
Informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus? Brothers and sisters, why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen?
You see what he's saying here? He's saying that somehow he was not notified. This is going to get real crazy real quick. Y'all hold on. We almost there.
Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously?
Real quick, I got to read this. Thank Vern. I got to read this right here. Trust me, if you owe money to the government, they definitely will contact you nonstop. We know, yeah, adults know that. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I know. But you see, with this and things that I had to put it up there. You see how Umar, the narrative that he's already spinning, because he wants to set up this whole thing that he's being persecuted by Wilmington, and they don't, you know, all this stuff. It gets crazy. Okay, it's building up to something. But we all know that if it ain't even got to be the government. If you owe your Sprint bill, I know Sprint's no longer, but if you owe your phone bill, they're gonna contact you. Your internets, they're gonna contact you, right? Your power, they're gonna contact your gas, your water, they're gonna contact you, right? Credit card, they're gonna contact you. But somehow Umar, and he knew these bills going all the way back, 2019. But you see, he set all this up. July 9th, 2025. He was talking about how Lenon was trying to get into his account. See how sneaky this guy? He's like a snake. You know what I'm saying? One of them real sneaky snakes. You know, because some snakes are sneakier than other snakes. He one of them sneaky ass snakes. You know what I'm saying?
Behind our backs. They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail.
No notice in the mail.
We received no notice by email.
No notice by email.
We received no phone calls at all.
No phone calls at all.
That they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set.
Didn't nobody steal that set, Umar? Cut it out. They just took pictures of it and sent it to me. You always got to do this.
Of notifications and sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School paperwork.
Yeah, he talk about me.
Off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork.
Stole?
I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe.
Say it, Umar. Wow, we got 4,500 people in the building. Shout out to Cook Crush Chat. Wow. I appreciate y'all.
That they were going to sell the school, and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know.
Listen, the city don't want them funky shits. What are you talking about, Umar? I don't mean to say it that way, but this is some funky shits. They don't want to take on that liability. What are you talking about, Umar? Now, I think that's why K-12 sold it to you for so cheap anyway, because they knew about that APA report. They knew that there's some sorry shits. They didn't want to take on the tax liability anymore and all the filth and the homeless people and the drug addicts and all this other. They didn't want to have. That's what they said. Let's give it to this goofy. What's his name? His name is Jermaine Jackson. Let's give it to this goofy. So somehow they want to sell them. They want to take. They don't want nothing to do with these shits. Anyway,
that they were going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received no letter in the mail. We received no email. We received no phone call that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door. In a low-income neighborhood, they put a notice on the door.
Yeah, because black people in this low-income neighborhood, they're going to try to get this paperwork. I was trying to figure out what he meant by that before. He tried to say, why would you put it out on the door like that with all these black people, these lazy, trifling black people? You know they're going to take the paperwork. Black people ain't trying to take that paperwork. Umar, cut it out. It's so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Black people trying to get away from that paperwork. They ain't trying to take it. Umar so stupid. He's so stupid. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Or with rubber band and masking tape.
There you go.
They put a notice on the.
He always complaining about something. They put rubber band and masking tape. So what? What you want them to do, Umar? Put some gold lace on it with some, I don't know, some zebra cakes under the door. I don't know. What is this supposed to be like? They put it on here. And that really upset me because they use tape and a staple. Umar, so what? He always complaining about something. He's so grumpy. Let me go.
School front door with a rubber band and masking tape.
So what? You were just talking about the rubber band pop on the White Girl podcast. Don't call me White Girl Pop. Anyway. This guy is so... Look at
Brothers and sisters.
What, Umar? Come on.
It gets worse. Back in April, when I found out...
They didn't even put glitter on it, family. They didn't even put glitter on it. They didn't put no glitter on it. They should at least put some glitter on it, family. No, they gonna put a rubber band and a 2-piece chicken nugget. Wait a minute, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How are you getting a 2-piece chicken nugget? What are you talking about? All right, let's stay focused. Here we go.
About the overdue vacant property registration fees. I had asked the city of Wilmington if they could retroactively apply our nonprofit waiver. According to the nonprofit waiver.
Okay, so let me pause it right here. In fact, let me see something. How much longer does he be running his mouth? Okay, let me pause it right here. So the nonprofit waiver, I want people to keep that in mind because what Umar is suggesting here is actually, it's not true. And so what I want to do now is Umar sets all this up going all the way back to July 9th of 2025. He alludes to the notion that Lenon stole his bank account information. Try to throw me in there too. And then 8 days later, we see Umar dancing in Africa, South Africa to be more precise. And then on July 25th of 2025, Umar tells a story about how his bank accounts were frozen. Okay, people went in on him on that one. And then on August 4th of 2025, Umar Johnson's, he does the FDMG update and he talks about how his bank accounts are still frozen. He throws me in it too. Okay, like I'm hacking his accounts, et cetera, et cetera. See what I'm doing here? It's a timeline. And then August 8th of 2025, breaking news. I break the story about FDMG potentially being sold. It's in jeopardy of being sold. And I showed the paperwork for that, which Umar discussed here. And then also showed the website where you're going to look all this up. Because there are people saying, no, that's, no, you're making it up. I don't do that. Okay. I just don't do that. I have integrity. Okay. I showed the website. And then Umar does the video on August 9th, 2025 at the Source and Knowledge. It's not at the bookstore. It's like outside. And then he does this video August 12th of 2025, and he deletes the video. But what he says in this video is that he wasn't notified. That's kind of the crux of all this, that he was not notified. They're trying to sell these buildings from up under him without him even knowing it. It's this big conspiracy. Now, the conspiracy part, we're going to get into that a little bit later. But what I want to show you now is what happened that proved that Umar Johnson is a liar. He's the ultimate liar. So this video right here that we were just watching is from August 12th of 2025. On August 15th, this brother right here of Basic Black Podcast, you guys know I don't promote people, but he did email me. He reached out and emailed me. I'll tell you guys a story. He does a video where he talks about Dr. Umar Johnson is a fraud and continues to lie. And what he does is he explains how he contacted the city of Wilmington to ask them about Umar's claim that they did not notify him. And he didn't know they were trying to sell these buildings out from under him. So this brother, he contacted me. He also posted on my YouTube page as well. Now, the way that I work is, what I say is it true? And I said, he seems genuine. Okay, again, but you never know. He seems articulate. He had paperwork, or not paperwork, but he showed the email. He actually copied it to it and put it inside the description of the video. I said, okay, there's something to this. But the way I work is I say, let me verify this before I go public with it. Okay. Again, I give him credit. I'm going to give him credit again right now. Basic Black Podcast. He asked me to shout him out too. And I will do that. You deserve it because you did the head work. And I'm not claiming this as my own. I'm giving you full credit for this. That being said, I have to do my due diligence. What I do is I send an email to, and the brother's name is Daniel T. Walker. He's a deputy chief of staff for policy and communication in the city of Wilmington. He works closely with the mayor. And I emailed him. I actually have it. I don't have to show it to you guys, but I emailed him and I said, did you receive an email from this brother? And I gave his name, talking about what's taking place with Umar Johnson and the FDMG Academy, et cetera, et cetera. It was a short email. Can you verify that you actually stated this? And you replied to this brother. He responded the following day. And he was like, yes, absolutely. And then he posted again, exactly the same thing he sent this brother, he posted for me. So it's verified without a shadow of a doubt. So the question becomes, what did this brother share with people? And there's a lot of people talking about it. Well, let me do this. We're going to come back to this video at 27 minutes and 11 seconds. And what I'm going to do is let me scroll through to find it because I have it in video format. I have it written out too, but I want to share it in video format. And actually, I don't see it on here. Did I actually export that? I don't think I exported it. Hold on one second. Yeah, let me do it this way because it'll be easier to scroll.
Morning, get on your telephone and call the mayor.
Yeah, give me 1 second. See how he's saying get on your telephone and call the mayor? Well, let me see if I actually export it because I think I may have forgotten. Oh yeah, here it is right here because I showed my email. Okay, this is me emailing him. I said, good morning. Oh no, this is his response to me. He said, good morning, Mr. Honor. Thank you for reaching out. Yes, I can confirm I am the author of the response outlined below. Okay, and you won't see it here, but down here, you can see all the way at the bottom. I said, my name is LenonHonor. I'm an investigative reporter and have researched Umar since 2019. Can you confirm that you replied to an email from a Mr. Jackson where you stated, and then I have exactly what Mr. Jackson posted, and shout out to him again. Okay, this brother right here. Okay, so let me see if I actually have, let's see, because I thought I had exported it. Let me see. So yeah, here it is right here. So this is Mr. Jackson broke this story. I just confirmed it because I didn't want to put it out there without actually knowing it to be factual. And it is. I've confirmed it without a shadow of a doubt. This is the city of Wilmington's response to Umar. Remember, Umar was saying that he wasn't notified. Okay, well, let's take a look and see what the city of Wilmington actually said. Because unfortunately, the statements made about Dr. Umar are simply untrue and inaccurate. The city of Wilmington has issued numerous communications concerning the two properties, and the communication from the property owner has been infrequent and scarce. Our goal is simple: to ensure the properties come into compliance with existing regulations. This is true for our approach to every property in Wilmington and ensures our buildings are safe and constructed adequately. We have a process to follow, and the monition notice he received is another step in that process. We invite Dr. Umar, along with every property owner, to communicate with our offices and determine the appropriate next steps for any property that enters this phase of enforcement. So it sounds like there's things that Umar could do to mitigate this. It goes on to say, even this week, our office has contacted Dr. Umar, inviting him again to comply with our regulations and speak with our delinquent accounts team and the Department of Licenses and Inspections to determine a path forward, to clarify the timeline of events. Now he gives a timeline, and this right here, because you guys know I'm big on timeline. Okay, so let's look at the timeline that this official shared here. October of 2024. L&I License and Inspection sent an email to property owner Dr. Johnson requesting completion of a waiver request for the upcoming vacant property fee cycle 2025 through 2029. So the cycle, the fee cycle is 2020. It looks like it's 2025 to 2029. No response received. You see this? Umar lies so much. January 1st, 2025, the beginning of this year, deadline to request a waiver for the 2024 registration cycle passed with no waiver application received. Look at this, because I said this before. Past due fees are ineligible for waivers. So any past due fees, you can't put in a waiver for them. Umar tells a whole nother story. He's a pathological liar. I told you all this when I covered what was this, back on the 8th. No, I think it was the 9th, because I did a second video on the 9th because things became more clear to me. Because that first video, it was impromptu. April of 2025, property owner submitted a 501c3 documentation and photos, but did not submit a formal waiver application or demonstrate active permitted renovations as required under 4-2B. The owner requested retroactive application of nonprofit waiver to prior year's fees, which is not permitted by code. Like I was saying, it doesn't work that way. There's a document we'll look at in just a moment that says that. In fact, let's look at it right now. And shout out to, I think it was JJ who sent this to me. I always give shout outs to people. Now I know you can't see it all that well. I can pull up another way and scroll in, but just, trust me on this. Look at the highlighted part. It says past due fees are not subjected to request for a waiver. All past due balances must be paid in order to receive a waiver of the current year's fees. So all the old fees have to be paid before Umar could even put in for a waiver for the current year's fees. All of the past years, they're not subject to this waiver. In other words, the waiver you can't use the waiver for that. Additionally, all properties must be registered to receive a waiver of registration fee. Okay, we're going to come back to this a little bit later. Let's go back here. I'm going to read that one again, if you guys don't mind. Hold on one second. Let me read that one again. April of 2025. Property owner submitted 501c3 documentation. So Umar did. And remember, he said that they stopped communicating with them, right? Property owner submitted a 501c documentation and photos, but did not submit a formal waiver application or demonstrate active permitted renovations. And this is a key component right here. Active permitted renovations. What they're referring to is that if Umar has been doing renovation work, which he's claimed he's been doing for the last 6.5 years, the 6.5 years, crazy, then there should be permits that Umar would be able to pull that he would include in this waiver application. But like I've been telling people, a lot of the work, most of the work that's been done up there is Pookie Ray Ray. It's just a hookup situation. So there are not permitted renovations that are taking place by people who are professionals, licensed, in some cases bonded professionals, to come in and they pull permits in order to do renovation work. You guys following this? Hit the one. So I will propose that the reason why Umar could not and did not demonstrate active permitted renovations as required under 4-2B is because he had most of the work that was done up there. It wasn't done professionally with people who had pulled permits, so forth and so on. See, this is a problem in and of itself. Okay, it goes on to say the owner requested retroactive application of nonprofit waiver for prior year's fees, which is not permitted by the code. The code does not allow that. April through August of 2025, multiple follow-up attempts from finance department regarding outstanding fees, no waiver application submitted for the current cycle. And then August 5th, 2025, due to the continued non-payment and non-compliance, an auction notice was issued in accordance with City Code 34-38B, which allows for service by posting when other delivery methods are not completed. Notices were posted at each property's primary interest by the sheriff's office, and that's the story that we broke back on August 8th of 2025. So again, shout out to this brother right here. I'm gonna give him a shout out again. Basic Black Podcast for breaking this story. Full credit goes to him. I just confirmed it and then I'm presenting it to you guys. But he's the brother that broke this story. Now, this shows a couple of things. It shows that number one, Umar's a liar. because the premise of the video that we were watching, we're gonna get back into it before we wind this down, is that they were trying to sell this without letting him know. They stopped contacting him. They weren't in communication with him. It was some sort of a conspiracy. Well, that's not the case at all. Umar is a pathological liar. It's what I've been telling people for a long time. Nothing's changed. Now, am I surprised by this? No. Are any of y'all surprised by this? Some of you guys, maybe you haven't followed Umar long enough to see how much he lies about things. And it's one of the most amazing things about Umar is that he will start lying and he just keep going. In his mind, it works that way. And he just keeps going and spinning these false narratives over and over again. And for whatever reason, people believe. But you know what? This video right here, he took it down because we went in on him. And people picked it up, they had downloaded it, and they start reporting on it because he already put it out there, and people were going in. A lot of his followers, that was the last straw for him. A lot of his followers, when he was talking about how his bank accounts were frozen, that was the last straw. But you see how all of this goes back to when Umar, back on July 9th of 2025, he suggested Lenon stole his bank account information. Because again, the idea is that because his bank account information was stolen and because I hacked his bank account, here we go, and Lenon hacked his bank account, and Malika Stone and Erica and East B hacked his bank account. Okay. And of course, Jonathan Kidd, because that's all Jonathan Kidd does is he hacked bank accounts all day and month. That because of that, his bank accounts were frozen, and that's why he couldn't get access to the money that he needed to pay off this $38,388.22. But remember, these bills go way back, and they had been communicating with Umar way back, way before his bank accounts were allegedly frozen. So why didn't he handle it back then? He's a pathological liar. He creates this narrative, this fake narrative, because he knew what was coming down on the pipe. What he hoped for is that when that document was posted on them doors, that no one would ever see it. But I have the receipt. And that's why I've been telling people for a lot of months that the Cookie Crush chat is undefeated. Hit the one. We ain't done. Y'all give me 20 more minutes. Okay, we still gotta get the super chat, but give me 20 more minutes. If everything work out, we be back tomorrow with Lenon. All right. Let's go back now to the 27-minute mark in 11 seconds. And we'll pick up where we left off. Here we go.
In the first we find out, the first time we hear from them since April is a letter on the front door of the school, affixed with a rubber band and masking tape. A rubber band and masking tape. Brothers and sisters.
No, I didn't see that. Did you see the city added to that timeline today with a March 2025 edition? No, I did not see that. Yeah, I did not see that. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if you can email it to me if you have it or whatever. You're welcome to do so. Yeah, I did not see that. Okay,
thank us 20 days to pay these back taxes. We already paid $30,000 for water that we.
By the way, it's not taxes. There's no taxes that are due. Okay, that just goes to show you how inept this guy is. I already showed you guys. It's not a tax issue.
We don't even use.
Well, Umar, if you sit on these properties for 6.5 years, you should have had them up and running so that you're not wasting your donors' money. It ain't my money. So you wasted donors' money on all of this. Not one black boy has been educated. It's ridiculous. It's a money pit.
We just paid $30,000 to the city of Wilmington for water that we don't.
No, ain't no we. Okay, it's the donors. Don't put me in that. Don't even try.
Don't even use. And now we got to pay another $30,000.
Somebody said Lennon could have got Diddy off on all charges. That boy, no, I wouldn't have. No, that's too. No, you going too far now. All right, here we go.
For vacant property registration fees that we shouldn't even owe because we should have a waiver. We should have a waiver. We should have a waiver. And it gets worse, brothers and sisters. It gets worse because they are raising the vacant property registration fee. They are raising the vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. I'm going to say it again. They are raising the vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. Brothers and sisters, I want y'all to get ready for a protest.
Okay, now why are they raising it too, by the way? See, Umar wants to make it seem like he's being persecuted. That's not the case at all. If we look at this document right here, it's a summary of annual registration of vacant buildings and associated fees, Wilmington, Delaware Code Chapter 4-27, 120.0. It says fee schedule. Your registration fee for this year is based upon the total number of years the property has been vacant as of November 1st, regardless of varying ownership during the period of vacancy. The updated fee schedule is as follows. Okay, less than 1 year is zero. So that first year, Umar didn't have to pay anything. At least 1 year, but less than 2 years, he has to pay $500 a year. At least 2 years, but less than 3 years, he has to pay $2,500. At least 3 years, but less than 4 years, he has to pay $5,000. At least 4 years, but less than 5 years, he has to pay $10,000. And look right here, at least 5 years or more, you have to pay $12,000. And he's in the 5th year. See? But Umar wants to make it seem as if they're persecuting him and they're out to get him and he's the only one. No, this is the summary of annual registration of vacant buildings and associated fees. It's a schedule. So Umar, the longer you keep these shits on the vacant property list, the more money the donors have to pay. Just wasting money. This is all wasted money too, by the way. Not one black boy has been educated. And by the way, we covered this earlier. Past due fees are not subjected to request for a waiver. So what are you talking about, Umar? All past due balances must be paid in order to receive a waiver of the current year's fees. Additionally, all properties must be registered to receive a waiver of registration fee. Okay, I don't even think these things are registered, but for sure, he hasn't provided the receipts to show that he's had a work done where they're pulling permits, professional work being done where they're pulling permits. He did have one for the electricity, but again, it has to be for all the work that's done. Umar doesn't have that because he's had Pookie and Ray Ray come through to do this work. He wants to hook up all the time. Let's keep going.
I want all FDMG donors and supporters to get ready for a protest. We may have to march on City Hall, brothers and sisters.
See, this is so ridiculous. March on City Hall. No wonder he took this video down.
We may have to march on City Hall because of the racism.
Racism.
I'm going to call it what it is.
It has nothing to do with racism. Nothing.
Racism. Discriminatory treatment. Why did we get no notification that y'all were going to sell our schools? Why did you not respond to any of our emails to retroactively apply our vacant property registration fee waiver?
Listen, you can't retroactively apply for bills that are past due from the previous years. Hit the 5. Damn, this guy be lying so much. Y'all see this guy? He lies so much. That's what this document shows right here. It's highlighted. Past due fees are not subjected to request for a waiver. Please hit the 5, y'all. Damn. 5 all the way live, okay? Please. If y'all hit the 5, thank you. It say past due fees are not subject to the request for a waiver. 5. All past due balances must be paid in order to receive a waiver. You got to pay the past due before you can actually receive a waiver for the current year fee. Umar Johnson. You get this? Hit the 5. Additionally, all properties must be registered to receive a waiver of registration fee. I haven't seen any paperwork that shows that these shits are, or I shouldn't say it, these abandoned buildings that will, but these trap bandos that they're registered. I haven't seen it. If anyone has it, please send it to me. I saw a gang of 5s in here. Listen, the DJ said 5 sniffing and blinking. You got to call 555. Get FDMG. Y'all crazy. 555. Think of the thigh. The 5 heartbeats. Yeah, family. Right, the 5 lines for Voltron. This is the 5 lines for the Broton. There's a black one, the yellow one, the pink one, the yellow one. Did I say the yellow already? There's a blue one and a red one. 5-5 bacon and lies. 5-5-5 lies. All right. y'all be making stuff out of any little thing. But that's why I love y'all. Real talk. Love y'all. Just Art and Pace says, no, all of a sudden it's our school. Yeah. We got to pay our bills. Said, no, Umar, I ain't got to pay none of your. If I got to pay your bills, you better be paying mine, homeboy. and you don't see my bills with all these kids. Thanks, Just Art and Pace for super chat. Okay, let's finish this up. Okay, here we go. Umar, he crazy.
I knew they didn't want Dr. Umar in Wilmington. I didn't know it was this bad. I knew.
5 Queens. shout out to Edward. I don't know if have you checked out the new Alien Earth? I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Thank you for being here, Edward. One of the OGs, Captain. All right.
That the power structure. I'm not talking about the brothers and sisters in the community. They love us. Shout out to our Wilmington, Delaware family. Shout out to our Wilmington, Delaware family. They love Dr. Umar and FDMG. I'm talking about the power structure of Wilmington, Delaware. We knew they didn't want us in that city, but we didn't know they would go this far as to ignore us for 4 months and try to.
You see how much he lies? This guy lies so much, it's incredible.
Sell the school behind our backs. I didn't know they would go this far as to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell the school behind our backs.
4 months.
I didn't know they would go this far to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell our schools that we've been working on for 6.5 years behind our backs.
Which is
so,
crazy.
Brothers and sisters, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fight like hell to get our money from the bank.
You ain't going to do nothing. Cut it out. Someone sent me a PayPal. Thank you so much. My PayPal and CashApp information listed down below in the description of this video. Thank you so much for that.
We're going to pay off this vacant property registration fee waiver. And we might still have a protest at City Hall because this is wrong, brothers and sisters. I have emailed the mayor. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the chief of staff. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the city council president. I have gotten no response.
See, he's lying. He just lies so much. This guy's incredible.
So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to meet with my team, and we're going to decide if we're going to go ahead and have.
What team you talking about, Umar?
This protest, and it ain't going to be one. We're going to do multiple protests.
Here you go. You always got to make it extra.
And we're going to invite our donors and supporters from across the state of Delaware, our donors and supporters across the United States, and our donors and supporters across the entire planet. We may have to march on Delaware to let them know that you don't treat black people like this. Because if I was white, I wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Asian,
they ain't got nothing to do with it. I can't believe this guy. He lying so much.
We wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Arab, we wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Jewish, we wouldn't have been treated like this. But we were treated like this because we were black. How dare you ignore us for 4 months and then put a sign on our door without even telling us that you're going to sell our properties? Brothers and sisters, why didn't we receive a certified letter? Why didn't we receive a certified letter?
Stop complaining. You knew about this. Just go down there. Maybe instead of being over there in Africa looking goofy, dancing and stuff and clapping your own hands and all this, maybe you should have been handling business. Go down there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's really now real quick, let's say if your phone went off and you paid your bill and you were like, wait a minute, why is my phone off? Wouldn't you call? And if you don't answer, wouldn't you go down there? Now, evidently, it's just not that important to Umar for some. It's not that important to Umar. Over there in Africa, looking goofy, dancing, and all this foolishness, you should be handling business. You spend more time in other countries than you do with these trap bandos, homeboy. And it's racism, and they trying to stop me, and blah, 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 FDMG, and 5-5, thinking the time. They ain't got nothing to do with none of that, homeboy. You don't handle business. Anyway, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Why didn't we receive an email? Why didn't we receive a phone call? Oh, we not going to quit. We not going to give in. The only thing left on the elementary school is to lay down.
This is a really good point, Kitwana. Every declaration basically by him at this point, it's a confession. It's true because we've already outlined that he's lying about this. Okay, I showed the receipt from the brother Basic Black Podcast, and then I confirmed that receipt. So everything that he says after we are aware of that information, is basically he's confessing that he's a pathological liar. I mean, everything he's saying here, he's just lying now. See? But that goes to show what I was talking about before. Umar, he thrives based upon keeping people in a state of ignorance. See, what this brother did, the Basic Black Podcast, is that he opened this up and he took the extra step to contact the city, and he got a reply back. And they told him, they sent me the same email, the same thing they sent to him, they sent to me, and I confirmed this exactly what this brother said is true. He didn't make it up. And so once you have that information, where do you go from there? Well, you know what the truth is. So everything that Umar says, after you have that information, you realize very quickly. We can go back to the beginning of the video. See, truth be told, we can go back to when he first tried to imply that Lenon had got his bank information back on July 9th of 2025. We can go back there with this information, and it changed the whole dynamic, because you see he's setting this up way in advance to where we're at today. So it's very true. Thank you, Kitwana, for the super chat. Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Tile. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. And if we have trouble getting our inspection and certificate of occupancy, we will have to march. We will have to march. We might march anyway, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We're not giving up, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We need y'all to call the mayor of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the mayor's chief of staff in Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the city council president of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the commissioner of license and inspections of...
See him causing problems? See this? And he lying the whole time. He's trying to get his followers to do this dirty work. But the truth is that he was lying from the beginning. Well, that's deep right there. That's what you call a cult. When a dude tell you to do something, or he or she tells you to do something, and they lying in the first place, and you go do it without question, that's what you call a cult. See, I don't be telling people to go do stuff. Because people that say stuff like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go over there. I'm a clown." I said, "No, don't go do that. Don't do that." See, but Umar, he'll tell his followers to go do his dirty work, and he lying the whole time. That's diabolical. But that's Umar. Let's go.
Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the vacant property office of Wilmington, Delaware, and demand that those unjust fees be removed from our account. They're
not unjust.
Them know that you are a donor of FDMG. Let them know you are a supporter of FDMG. And let them know that if this situation is not rectified, we will march on the city and we will sue the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, you gonna sue him? Boy, he playing games. You need to cut it out. We got over 4,500 people in the building. The poll question is, did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? We got 4,323 likes before we close this show out. I'm gonna get the super chats in just a moment. Make sure you get your vote in. I'll leave this up for maybe 10 more minutes. 95% said yes, Umar, he lied on, and it's evident, it's clear here. I mean, there's no question about it. 95% said yes, that Umar lied on the city of Wilmington, and 5% said no. That's what 5%. That's Umar Johnson's father. And I'm just playing. Here we go.
We will sue the city of Wilmington, Delaware for racism and discriminatory treatment.
Yeah, he really tripping.
If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, text message only. 215-989-9858, text message only. 215-989-9858, text message only. This is your brother, Dr. Umar Tunde, letting you know that I'm still standing for black people. I'm still riding for black boys, and we will open the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. No racism from the city of Wilmington will stop us. No sabotage from the city of Wilmington will stop us.
There you go. Sabotage.
Tomorrow morning, get on your telephone and call the mayor. Tomorrow morning, get on your telephone and call the mayor's chief of staff. Tomorrow morning, get on your telephone and call the commissioner for license and inspections. Tomorrow morning, call the city council president of Wilmington and ask them, why was Dr. Umar in FDMG ignored for 4 months when he was trying to rectify this problem? Why was Dr. Umar in FDMG Academy ignored for 4 months while he was trying to rectify this problem? Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. We will not retroactively apply your vacant property registration fee waiver. No problem. We could have got a payment plan. No problem. We could have got a payment plan. No problem. We could have got a payment plan. But instead of responding to me the first week of April, instead of responding to me the first week of April, instead of responding to me the first week of April, they ignore us for 4 months and put a sign on our door this past weekend. They ignore us for 4 months and put a sign on our door this past weekend saying we're going to sell these schools if you don't pay our money. We're not going to email you. We're not going to send you a letter in the mail. We're not going to call you. We're going to put a letter on your door that somebody can take and run off with, as somebody did. They took the letter off the high school and sent it to you.
He lying. Ain't nobody steal nothing. Cut it out, Umar.
YouTube, the struggle streamers. What if they took the letter off the elementary school?
Oh, no.
What if they took the letter off the elementary school? What if they took the letter off the elementary school? Brothers and sisters, we need your donation so we can pay this bill.
You need that money.
They say we owe $20,000 on the elementary school. They say we owe $20,000 on the high school. They say we owe approximately $20,000 on the elementary school. They say we owe approximately $20,000 on the high school.
He don't even know how much he owed. That's a damn shame. I'm the one that broke the story. $38,388.22, Umar.
Our accounts are frozen. Our accounts are frozen. Our accounts are frozen. We need y'all to help us pay this.
Yeah, he set all this up. Going back to July. Real quick, someone did send me a clarification of the timeline events, and it shows March 2025. Maybe it got lost in translation. I'm not quite sure. But it says Department of Finance mailed a notice to FDMG indicating that the city of Wilmington was going to file an action with Superior Court because of delinquent vacant property registration fees, delinquent L&I fees, delinquent property tax, and or sewer bills. Now, there is no delinquent property tax. Okay. And again, I would need to confirm that. I'm just reading what the person sent me because I have to confirm information beforehand. So I'm just reading that. That's something that someone sent me. I haven't verified it. Okay. And thanks to the person who sent it to me. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's finish it up. Here we go.
Bill. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. But if we don't.
So the bank is against him. The YouTuber and struggle streamers are against him. The Cookie Crush chats against him. And the city of Wilmington. They're against him too.
Y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school.
Y'all
got to help us pay this bill and save our school.
Nope.
Y'all got to help us pay this bill.
It ain't no y'all.
And save our school. You don't have to root for me, brother. I don't need you. I got more than enough supporters. But I want everybody to know that there might be a protest soon. We need you to come in from Africa, from Europe, from Australia, from Canada, to come in from all the 50 states and show the city of Wilmington, Delaware. You will not disrespect black people. You will not sabotage black people. You will not discriminate against black people.
He loves saying sabotage.
And you will not try to steal property from black people.
Well, that's a serious claim for him to be making. And again, shout out to Basic Black Podcast again. You guys know I don't promote people because I've been burned on that so many times. But he seems like a genuine brother, and he did reach out to me and asked that if I could promote, at least share his YouTube page, that he would appreciate it. And, you know, just an act of kindness, I'll do it and thank him for doing that, making that connection and getting that information out there. Full credit goes to him. All right, that's all I got for this live stream. Also, I want to show you guys what Umar has been posting recently because it goes to show you how ridiculous all this is. This is from the 16th, 3 days ago. Help us pay Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RBG International Leadership Academy using PayPal.me. Save FDMG. Okay, this is where things are at this point. Anyone who believes that somehow he's serious about opening up a school, you have to be living in a delusional state. And remember, renovations aren't done, even though he said renovations were complete back in 2023. And if he can't even come up with this money to get this bill paid, $38,388.22, how is he going to be able to fund the school once it opens and pay faculty and staff? See, it's not even financially viable. It's not tenable. It's a long con. And ultimately, Umar, it's just about getting money out of people. Really, real talk, he should be able to pay $38,388 on a credit card, on some credit cards. Just use a bunch of them, I guess. Okay, whatever your credit limit is, just max them out. At least it holds you over. Okay, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just saying. So that's one of the things. Here's another one right here. Help us save FDMG, and some sort of an FDMG. I don't know what this is. Okay, this is all a waste of money too. See, all the money he's wasted, so much money could have gone towards this $38,388.22. I got two more. Here's the other one. Save Our School Earth Day donation. So for his birthday, he wants people to send him money. PayPal.me, FDMG Academy. No struggle, no progress. And I guess the idea is that if you guys send him birthday money, that he's going to spend this money on quote unquote saving FDMG. The $38,388.22 is going to be paid. And then this is what he posted yesterday. FDMG Academy bank account still frozen. There's no way. There's no way. Umar stated that his bank account was frozen on July 25th. Now, basically what he's saying, let's do the math real quick. This is from the 18th. Let me look at this calendar because I don't remember how many months was last month. Bank accounts were frozen on the 25th. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 days later and it's still frozen. That's not how banks work. So what's really going on here? 25 days? No. Unless there is a lien against these bank accounts. Okay, if it was fraud, like he was saying at first, that would have been cleared up in a matter of days. And in some cases, they would simply close that account and open up a new account and they just transfer the money over. See, again, with Umar, never take anything that he says at face value. He's a pathological liar, and it's been proven today. Okay, I've proven it many times, but it's definitely been proven today. All right. Again, thank you all so much for tuning on in. I'm going to get the super chats now. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to view this live stream. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm supposed to have Lene on tomorrow. I'll set up the show because she did agree to do it. I'll set up the show right after this live stream. And then we'll get together tomorrow. And she has some more information to share with you guys. I apologize. Let me see if I can lock this real quick. My apologies. Hey, ain't even nobody over there. What is going on? Oh, I thought I heard somebody knocking. Okay, not bad. Yeah, he did. He set all this up going back a long time, going all the way back to July 9th of 2025. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow, one way or the other. All right, let me do these super chats real quick. I'm gonna have to do them as quickly as possible. Real quick. By the way, make sure you guys head on over to Mary Ann Lawrence's YouTube page. She did an excellent video today. Fantastic video. She also released the Awaken movie starring Umar Johnson. Okay, and she did say that she's gonna work on the making of Awaken, and that's gonna be huge. Okay. All right, let me get into this chat room to get these super chats. I gotta scroll up and find out where we left off, and we'll get through these as quickly as possible. Okay, I remember, dude. Thank you so much. I got this one too, Laurie. Thank you so much. Got to get a job, bro. Been months. yeah. Umar, he should have been working while he's trying to finance this thing and just, stack chips and then have people they can contribute to. But he has no skin in the game. He hasn't donated not one dime to this. See, but he's lived off of this money for many, many years. That's why he's in this situation. He can't even come up with $38,088. Not that it's a little bit of money, but based upon how much money he's raised from 2019 to 2024, he's raised $1.67 million. He should have $38,388 sitting somewhere. Okay. Thanks, Jam. Shani says Umar should get a Darwin Award. No, don't do that. Should have grown donors' funds in a trust while business planners and getting quotes for FDMG. Instead, he lives off funding using his personal account. Yeah, it is crazy. There's a lot that he could do. Now, Shani, I'm not quite sure if he could use nonprofit money and then put it in a trust. I'm not sure. Now, maybe it's not my expertise. I don't know if legally he can do that, but bare minimum, He could have taken the money and put it into a high yield savings account and just let it sit from the beginning. See, my best estimate is $2.7 million. It's probably way more than that. People said $3 million. I can see that too, but I give Umar the benefit of the doubt. $2.7 million. And if he had taken that money over time and just it's not even investing it, just let it sit in a high yield savings account. By this point, more than enough. I mean, he already has enough money. He had enough money anyway, but with interest alone since 2014, we're talking 11 years. Come on, people. See, but he's not business minded. He's not savvy. He's not even personal finance. That's not his forte. And then they talked about that. He's not good with money. He doesn't know how to save. He just spends, and money comes in, money goes out. See, that's the one thing I've learned in my life is that you have to be prepared so that when money starts to come in, you may not have really had money your whole life, but when it does start to come in, you know how to be a steward of it, because otherwise it's going to go right back out. But Umar, he hasn't learned that. The money comes in, he lives off of the money. The money comes in, he spends the money. He's not saving anything. See, if Umar had been saving, do y'all think that by now he would have been able to come up with $38,380.22? Absolutely. At the very least, in 2014, he should have been, if he's going to be collecting this money, he should have also been working so he has skin in the game, right? And contributing to this fund and giving people updates and then build his credit up too, right? 11 years of building your credit up. See, he would 38,000. He should have credit cards that if in the case of an emergency, he should have the money sitting somewhere anyway. But in the case of emergency, okay, I wouldn't recommend it, but but no, that's not what Umar does. He's not fiscally responsible. He never has been. He never will be. Right? So I'm saying it's been a money pit, for black people's money. See? Thanks, Shani. Brian sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. Simulacron says, if you go back and read the two cases, N25J02114 and N25J02115, he owes two separate judgments for the two buildings. The full total is $76,760.44 that he owes, not $38,000. No, based upon my research and based upon the receipts that I've seen, he owes $38,280.22. He has a judgment for one building, and he has a judgment for the other building. And then on the document, you'll see that it's itemized after the judgment is posted. And if you add it up, you'll see that very clearly. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. And there's people who've been posting that the 76,000. I get it, but I go based upon what my receipts show and based upon my calculations. And if someone can prove that I'm incorrect, please do so conclusively, and then I'll issue a public statement, a retraction, and I will say if it's 76,000, because I've seen people say 80,000. I go based upon the receipts and what it shows on the paperwork. Okay? But again, if someone can prove me wrong, listen, I don't feel bad about that. I would much rather be factual, and it doesn't hurt me because it just goes to show that Umar owes way more than what. You know what I'm saying? Please let me know, okay, with receipts, and I'll issue a public statement and I'll issue a retraction. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. John the Professional says, for far too long, smooth talking hustlers have been able to come to our hurting community, whether it was Brother Polite, you're absolutely right. Nature Boy, you're absolutely right. Shady Preachers or Dr. Umar, when will we learn? Yeah, another person is Jay Morrison. There's plenty of people out there. That's the guy I really want to really start to dig into him and research him, but I just don't have the time. Like I said, I'm with all the other responsibilities, I just stick with Umar, and that's what I do for now. All right. There's been so many people, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's one of the reasons why coverage of Umar, my coverage and other people's coverage, because other people do fantastic work too. It's important because it's in real time. And later on, all this is archived right here on YouTube and in other social media outlets. But what will happen is that when the next person comes along, people will have more discernment because they've been able to see how. Just as an example, today, seeing Umar spin all these false narratives, and he in advance, he sets it up way in advance. But then he gets to the point where he starts lying on the city. And then we drop the receipt that shows that, no, the city had been in communication with Umar. See, that goes to show you that these types of individuals are not to be trusted. You should not accept anything that they say at face value. Now, people took, I'm not saying all people, but a lot of people took what Brother Polite was saying. I'm not even going to say Brother Polite, what he was saying at face value, like he was always telling the truth. No, he was a scammer and a hustler too, amongst other things, nefarious things, right? Nature Boy too. A lot of people, he's talking that talk, health and we're going to be eating right and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. But that dude, he had a real cult. And just as about freaky as you can be. I was gonna say wanna be, but I ain't gonna say that as freaky as you can be. See? Jay Morrison is another one. See? So it's unfortunate, but I think that's why this coverage of Umar is important, because I think it's setting a precedence. I do not think that this has ever been done before, to follow someone who is a con man and scam artist over this period of time and being consistent with it, and giving basically a play-by-play reaction and analysis and critique. It's important, in my opinion. Okay, and perhaps that'll save some people from being exploited later on down the line. Okay, thanks, John the Professional, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Fazar Dagar 36 says, Dr. Umar need to get a job at the gym. That'd probably be the last. I shouldn't do that. He ain't gonna try to get no job, but definitely ain't trying to get with no gym. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Verdant Visionary says, Lenon, please make the shirt that says, if you could spare a few, if you could spare a few dollars. Yeah, dollars, and it would be DOLAS for sure. Okay, if you can spare a few dollars. The thing is that Umar, his begging, it doesn't make sense, because in the bigger scheme of, well, for him it makes sense because it's all about getting money. But if we put this in the bigger context of opening up a school, it makes no sense at all. Again, if he can't come up with $38,380.22 at this point, okay, well, what he still has all kind. I mean, really, it's millions, potentially millions of dollars in renovation work that needs to go in to these buildings, both sides of the street. Okay, but if he can't come up with $38,380.22 at this point, okay, well, once all the renovations are complete, what is he going to do for operation costs? How's he going to come up? How's he going to pay a one teacher with $38,380.22? See, if he can't come up with that now, how's he going to come up with into the future? It's just ridiculous all the way across the board. So what I'm saying is, even a few dollars ain't going to help Umar. Okay, it's not going to help, but I don't think it matters to him. It's about just getting as much money as he can until the wheels fall off. Okay. Thank you, Verdant Visionary. I've been thinking about doing merch, but I think that's too far. You know, I don't want to say it this way, but I've really been blessed here on YouTube and doing merch. I feel like I would be being greedy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know that sounds kind of weird, but you guys really have. You've blessed me, and I'm so thankful and so appreciative. I feel like, okay, if I get merch and then people start buying merch, that's, to me, at least for me, that's like, you know, it's kind of being just a little too much, just being greedy. Okay, and I don't want to come off as that. I am appreciative though. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that, Visionary. Zev Burrow says, this is the next Tiger King documentary right here. Yeah, see, who knows in the future, later on down the line, because oftentimes it takes a while. Sometimes it's after these con men or these cult leaders, after they're done, or later on when they're older, that's when the documentaries start coming out, like on Netflix or on Hulu or what have you. And I can see something like that being done on Umar. I can definitely see that later on down the line. I think he's an excellent case study on different mental health issues, scam artists, con men, you know, sexually exploiting these black women, financially exploiting these black women. The list goes on and on and on. Black, so-called black leader, so-called conscious, and all this stuff. He's a school psychologist. He's a principal. You know, he's a vice principal. He's a therapist. You know, he's his mama's primary caretaker. He lives inside of mama closet. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that's some Netflix shit right there. Okay. Yeah, it's on the Tiger King level. So that, who knows, that may be coming down the line. They probably interview me and I'll be sitting up here with the little Cookie Crush chat sign, you know, with a tie on, suit and tie, looking all sedity. All right. Thanks to Sam Burrows for the super chat. Mikey Kwame says, a partly serious question in thinking aloud. Could Umar pivot to stand-up comedy? He could. You know, there's a lot that Umar could do. I see different talents. It's just that his main talent is the gift of gab. He knows how to speak, but he uses it for nefarious reasons. But he could have been a good comic. I'm not saying he would have been a legend, but he could have been a good comedian. He could be funny. He could be funny. But again, comedians, the lifestyle of a comedian, it's a lot of hard work too. Umar, he does stuff to avoid hard work. You know, and comedians have to commit. And they be doing their thing for years, in some cases decades, just to kind of get a place, you know. And what I mean by that is find a place in the industry that's consistent. You know, that's not it's not easy at all. Umar, he doesn't have that temperament to be able to focus on one thing for an extended period of time and really work at a craft. He's all over the place. But yeah, he could have done that. And quiet as it's kept, Mikey, in the film Awaken, Umar, he did a good job. Umar didn't do a bad job. He did not give him credit for it. He didn't do a bad job. Okay, was he Denzel? No. Okay. You know, Was he Miguel Coxon? Yeah. I'm just playing. The point is, I can see Umar that if he had focused on something like that earlier on, that he would have been a decent actor. There's a lot of things that Umar could have done, you know, but he wanted to trick everything off with scamming and scheming and skeezing on this FDMG school scam and question of the cookies all around the world. Same song. All right. Thanks, Mikey Kwame, for the super chat. I appreciate it. The Saint says, Umar hasn't replied to text, calls, voicemail, or my video offer. If he loses the school, he'll lose his online career. Do you think he has a trick up his sleeve, or he'll just end in disgrace when the school goes to auction? Good work, by the way. Thank you. If the school goes to auction, first of all, I think Umar is going to he's going to make every effort to come up with the money, the $38,380.22. If he comes up with the money, then he has a decision to make. Either he'll put the money down on this $38,008.22 and clear things up with that, because he has other stuff he has to pay for too, by the way. He either do that or he'll keep the money, and I can see him totally doing this. And then what he'll do is he'll let these abandoned buildings go to auction. So he's able to pocket $38,380 or somewhere around there. It could be more than that or a little less than that. And then these buildings are sold at auction. But when they're sold, they're going to sell for more than $38,380.22. And so whatever is left over, Umar, he can go through a process through the city to recoup that money. That's what someone told me this. Okay, someone who's in the real estate out there. Okay, now do I know this as a statement of fact? I don't know this, but I trust what they were saying, because the way that they broke it down, it makes sense to me. So let's say that the buildings sell for $138,288, and then the city takes their portion, and then there's about $100,000 left over. Okay, well, Umar can take that $100,000 plus the $38,388.22 that he collected, where he said he was going to put it down on it, and he could just take the money and not tell anybody and move on. He can do that, or he can take the money and say, "Hey, listen, we're going to try to find another school with the money that we have left," and then he starts to scam all over again. See? So I have a saying that Tom always tells the truth. We have to wait and see how all of this plays out. And one way or the other, because it's going to be public record. If Umar pays these bills, it's going to be public record. If these buildings go off the auction, it's going to be public record. If they're sold, it's going to be public record. How much they sold for, it's going to be public record. See? And then we'll have to see how he navigates this. See, I'm more inclined to think that he's going to do everything he can to pay this off. That's what I think he's going to do, because once the buildings are gone, it's going to be very difficult for him to get money out of people. Talking about how we're going to just find another building, because people have been going through this since 2010. 2010, he said the school was going to open September 11, 2013. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Friend Martin says, I may have beamed up to beam in a time or two myself. Yeah, that's why you look like that. You just so you was in that thing, you just sniffing and blinking and shit. You got in that thing. Now look at you. Thank you for the super chat. Trying to lift weights and shit. I'm sorry. Okay. Thanks, Fred Martin. You wow. Yellow Man says, someone on Twitter said he was in another state doing a speaking and said that he has $500K for a new space, but that could be old, but I don't know. Yeah, Umar, he's done this all around the world. Okay, and I do mean that he's gone to different cities and different states here in the United States of America. And he promises, hey, listen, we're trying to looking for a school. I've talked about this in the past. Yellow Man, he'll be in Chicago. He said looking for a school in Chicago. If you guys know any of these schools that are like, 250,000, 500, then he just goes state to state and he does that, city to city, he does that. But he's gone to other countries and done that. He's gone to Africa and done that. See, Umar, he's all over the place with this. Who knows? When he went to South Africa, he may have promised them that he was going to open up a school down there. I know he did say he was going to open up a school in Ghana. Y'all remember that? He said he was going to open up a school. I kid you not. It was like Norway or something like that. This is an old video. I should pull it up. It got to be done. It's an old video. He's talking about, yeah, we opened up a school over here and blah, blah, blah. Then he was in the UK. He said, we're going to open one up in Manchester and in London and Yorkshire. I got a lot of shires and over there with the hobbits and everything. That's where they come from. They're over there in the UK. But he'd go over there and he would say that to people and then get them all riled up. He's been doing this for over a decade. See, but he can't even get one school. These trap bandits up here in Women, he might lose them. Who knows? The next month or two, these buildings could be gone. Thanks, Yellow Man, for super chat. I appreciate it. Dr. Carl Lewis Young sounds very intelligent, man. Dr. Carl Lewis Young says, keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Congratulations on being a doctor, a PhD, a real one, not an Umar phony. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words too. I appreciate it, bro. Enterprise says, did you see the 2 emails, YouTube /YouTube? I said, yeah, I did. I got, well, no, I think I did. You know, I've been telling myself I'm gonna have to close my email down because I get so many. I'm so backed up on emails. When I say that, I mean like now it's getting close to 2.5, maybe 3 months now, and I just don't have the time to get through stuff. Someone sent me a Cash App too. Thank you so much, MH, for that. I appreciate it. I just don't have time. I don't. That's the thing I struggle with every single day, is just having time to do stuff. And now it's to the point where I can't even check emails like I used to. Thanks, Enterprise, for entertainment. I believe I got your emails. I would have to go back and look. Thank you for the super chat. SB says, I hope that Umar gets sent to prison. He needs to serve some time and then go to Africa already. Yeah. I don't think at this point, Umar, he's in a position to live in Africa. I think he has inroads over there. I think he's funneled money over there. Okay, see how I'm saying? I think that his exit strategy may be to ultimately move to Ghana because he has Ghanaian citizenship. But I don't think he's in a position to do that right now. He has too many things holding on to over here. The other thing too, SB, is if he goes over to Africa and he continues to try to get money out of people, let's say he's going to open up school in Ghana, which he said he was going to do before, the money that he receives the money he receives from black folk over here, it's not going to be the same because he ain't even living over there. He's already done taken all this other money out of the black community for nothing. If he goes over there and tries to do it and says we're going to open up school in Ghana, there's the amount of people that's going to be supportive of that in terms of financially over here. It's not going to be the same. Furthermore, the money that he receives over there, it's not going to be the same as what he would be able to get over here. See, so I don't think Umar's in a position right now to do that. Now, if he's able to come up on a substantial amount of money and he could just bounce or he can just exit, he may do that. But right now, I don't think that's the time. I don't think he's in a position to do that. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Thanks, SB. Lil Cookie says, how do you see Umar explaining what happened to the account money once it's discovered there's nothing there? What do you predict he'll say? Well, the thing is, I don't see how that will become public record unless his FDMG account is audited and if that becomes public record. Now that could happen. What would he say? I don't know. Umar, he thinks in a different way from normal people. He's like a sociopath, but he thinks in a different way. It's not normal thinking. He's a pathological liar, so he'll just start telling lies. You know, I don't know. I don't know what he can do or what he can say if that was discovered. I don't know, but he'll think of something. You know, maybe that I don't know, Lene and Lenon and Lil Cookie that we conspired to steal and we stole the money out of the account. That's why there was nothing there. I don't know. Yeah, there's no telling with this guy. He lies so much, and I just can't get in the mode of even thinking like that. What he's doing is wrong. I can tell you that. I just don't think I don't think he cares. He's lived like this for such a long time. I don't think he sees any other way. I see another way for Umar. If he came clean and he told people that, you know, he messed up the money and that the school is not going to open and apologize for it, and he could say, hey, listen, I have to get my life together. You know, I got to focus on getting my life together. And all this has been too much. Yeah, I was wrong. I was scamming, you know, and I'm making a commitment now to not doing it anymore. And I'm going to get my life together. I'm not going to be sexually exploiting these black women anymore. I'm going to try my best to get my life in order so that I can be a father to my children. If he did something like that, black people would rally around him. I would root for him too. Okay. Now, and if he said I need money, I said, no, you ain't getting no money for it. You know, unless I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that the money is going towards him uplifting himself, then I would. But he lies so much, I wouldn't feel comfortable with doing that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. He lies so much. He's a pathological liar. So he'll probably just come up with some more lies. Thanks, Lil Cookie, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Mother Earth says, it's so ironic that everything he's against, such as psychological testing and medication, is exactly what he needs. Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting aspects of Umar as a person, that a lot of what he talks about, it's almost as if it's his own personal issues, but he projects them onto other people, and in particular projects them onto children. But I think a lot of it has to do with his own childhood. Yeah, I think it has to do with his own childhood. I think the idea of him opening up a boarding school is from his his childhood because he was sent off to boarding school. Right? It was a ROTC, so it was military based. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called right now. But he was shipped off there, and it was a boarding school, and he lived on campus. That's why when Umar says things like "I'm from the hood," he's not, because he lived relatively comfortably compared to his siblings, because he was able to, everything was provided for him at the school: food, shelter, clothing, etc., education. But I think that experience was one that was traumatizing to Umar because he was always a mama boy, and his daddy shipped him off. I don't think he wanted. I don't think Umar wanted that to take place, but he shipped him off. His daddy wasn't even at home at that time, and I think that was a very extremely traumatizing experience for Umar. So he plays this out nowadays, more recently in life, I guess you can. It's not even nowadays because he conceptualized this in 2000. So over the last 20 years, he plays this out as wanting to open up a boarding school called FDMG and the Anna Douglas something Academy for girls. So yeah, a lot of what he says is actually what he needs. That's his way of trying to heal his trauma. But that's not the correct way of doing it. His trauma from going to boarding school, he wants to heal it by somehow opening up a boarding school for black children. He don't talk about boarding school these days, but conceptually, initially it was a boarding school, and that's going to be his way to save these black boys and save these black girls. But really, he was the one that needed to be saved back in the day. I think that there were things that happened to him at that boarding school that were extremely traumatizing. I think. The other thing too, real quick, is he needs psychological intervention for sure. He needs professional help. I've talked about that in the past. Whether he needs medication, I'm gonna tell you something. I think Umar's already on medication. Yeah, because I've seen him popping pills. He starts a live stream. He's just popping pills. Y'all remember that? Hit the one. And I'm not talking about one or two. Like he just keeps going over and over again. I think that he uses it to self-medicate. He overindulges in it, and it's become an addiction amongst other addictions with Umar. So yeah, you're absolutely right about this. Thanks, Martha Earth for the super chat. Appreciate it. Black Wolf says, Lenon, I was in a few Black conscious chats, and they are giving you mad props by name, brother. I appreciate that. If a bank is breached, wouldn't many accounts be hit, not just Umar's little funky cat? Yeah, that's another thing. You know, but see, I think Umar, he wants to make it seem, that's a good point. I think Umar wants to make it seem as if he's specifically being targeted, because there are data breaches. We've studied that in cybersecurity. That happens. But it's usually not, and it's normally not, you know, specific to one individual. But Umar's trying to make it seem like he's specifically being targeted. It makes no sense. And even if he was being targeted specifically, that would have been resolved in a matter of days with the bank. You see, the money's insured. If the account was hacked, they could just take the money, transfer to a new account, and that's it. Just keep it rolling, and that's it. It's that simple. But Umar tells this whole elaborate story. But the reason why is because I think he wants people to think that he's being targeted, and this whole I don't even know. It's just ridiculous. See, it's like it's hard. Like Lil Cookie had asked earlier, it's hard for me to get in the mindset state to wrap my mind around how Umar thinks on these levels, because it's so far fetched from reality. And for him to tell these types of lies and just keep spinning it and going with it like that, I mean, that's a talent. Lying like that is a talent, and he's been at it for such. He's a pathological liar. He's been at it for such. But it's hard to kind of get into that mindset to try to figure out what is he really thinking, you know. But the story doesn't make any sense. It don't make no sense. Thank you, Black Wolf, for the super chat. Yeah, I know Sa Netter had mentioned me, and Captain Tazariak, they had mentioned me. So I appreciate that when people take the time to shout me out. I do. Thanks, Black Wolf, for the super chat. I appreciate it. User225 says, Medea foretells the trans. What are you talking about? No, let's move on. Let's move on. Frags and mags. Okay. Frags and mags. I got you. Sent in the super secret. Thank you so much. Papa D says, trust he got a house in Ghana with maids. He might have one. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. Thanks, Papa D. Ziggy Lee says he would have been better off owing the IRS. He could have done a payment plan with them. Yeah, the thing though, he could have did a payment plan with the city of Wilmington though too. See, but Lene talks about how Umar, he's avoiding. He don't handle business. So instead of handling business, he'll just let things linger and it just accumulate over time. And I think that's what's happened with this, because he's known about this for years. Yeah, he could have, if it was specifically the IRS, he could have went into a payment plan. You know, yeah, the interest rate isn't too bad either. You know. But he's not handling basic business. These are basic bills that should be paid yearly. Really, he should be taking care of. But the truth is, he should have renovated these buildings up to a certain point, at least at this point in this whole saga, 6.5 years, to where they wouldn't have to be in a vacant property list in the first place. There's no excuse for that with all the money that he's raised and the amount of time that he's had. 6.5 years is that's a long time. He'll be sitting on these bandos. There's no excuse for that. Thank you, Ziggy Lee. Mr. Hilton says, how is it feasible for him to charge tuition in an impoverished neighborhood? Meanwhile, he admits the school will not be accredited either. It's nonsense. Yeah, that's another total contradiction. He wants to charge $500 a month. The school's not going to be accredited. These children, it's in an impoverished neighborhood. Furthermore, there's 2 schools close to this school. One of them was just built this last year. And if it didn't start last year, it starts this year. Because I remember I was reading an article. They said they weren't sure if they were going to actually start last year once it was all done, or if they were going to start. What I mean by that is if they were going to start this year, if they wasn't going to be able to get it to start this year, they're going to start next year. The point is that why would people pay $500 and send their children $500 a month and send their child to a school that's not even accredited, instead of sending them to an established school? And then another one it's a STEM, it's a brand new, it's science and tech stuff, a brand new school, not too far from FDMG, and then go there for free. It don't even, yeah, it is. It's total nonsense. Total nonsense. Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Valerie says, it's good to see black men stand against his abuse. Yeah. It's something that needs to take place. What Umar is doing is wrong, and he's been doing it. He's been at it for a very long time. The thing is that there's other people too. People brought up Jay Morrison. People have brought up Polite. People have brought up Nature Boy. I mean, that guy, he was way out there. It's important for people in general, but men in particular, to speak out against this, because it's a form of abuse. And the people who are suffering the most are women and children, black women and children. I want y'all to think about that for a moment. See, a lot of the rhetoric that Umar, he espouses, it's really detrimental to black parents, and it affects black children in a negative way. Children who need psychological services, children who need, in some cases, they need medication. In some cases, they need a, what do they call that? They need special education resources, right? But Umar, the way that he spends his rhetoric, it's to make parents believe that the school system is totally against them and totally against their children. It's like a state of paranoia, extreme paranoia. And so there are children who miss out on services that would actually benefit them. He's dangerous. The people who have suffered the most because of Umar, it's black women and black children. And that's why black men, we should stand up. And I continue to do my part. Thank you so much, Valerie, for super chat. East Beach says, Leonard, you got the big YouTubers watching now. Yeah, there's been a lot of people cover Umar recently, and there are people who they watch my videos. They watch other people's videos too. There's plenty of other people who cover Umar consistently. I just think at this point, East Beach it's reached some sort of a critical mass. I keep thinking that, and I don't believe that, because I just think that this is a critical mass for this time period. I think it's gonna slow down again. It's not to where it was before. I think we're never gonna get back to that, which is good. But it's gonna slow down a little bit until Umar, the next shenanigan with Umar, and then it'll pick it back up. I just think that it's reached critical mass to so many people that they see this guy for who he truly is. I saw it a long time ago, and I've consistently reported on Umar over the years. So it's good to know that more people are talking about Umar. The more the better, because the more people speak about him, the more people in general will hear the truth about him and keep themselves safe from Umar, or people like Umar, because it's not just Umar. Thanks, East B, for being a member for 7 months. Thank you so much. 813J5 says, one vid when he was tweaking pouring water on his head, he said he was getting high off the people. I'm assuming he meant that literally. Yeah. He was tweaking. He was tweaking real bad in that video. He was up there. It was past midnight. It makes no sense for him to be out there at midnight begging for money and acting a damn fool, except that he needed money to continue to do what he's doing. He's up there. It's the kicking spot. I said that back in 2019. That these abandoned buildings, it becomes a kicking spot for Umar, and the homies come through. At least when he had homies back then, they come through and they blaze up, and he's still involved in that type of behavior to this day. Ain't nothing changed. See, it's been such a waste. Why you give me the middle finger too? It's such a waste. It's a waste of money. See, out of all the money that Umar Johnson, the donors have sent him, what has come out of it that's tangible and impactful? In particular for children. People can't come up with anything. A block party? That was for old people. They was up there doing electric slide and shit. You know, the young people ain't trying to do no electric slide. Y'all need to cut it out. Thanks, 813 J5. Enterprise says, Lenon, go to the auction and buy it. But I wouldn't do it. There's no way. I would not do that. Again, the EPA report is enough for me. Okay, the neighborhood is enough for me. And plus, if I bought them, Umar show up asking for food and shit, knocking on the door and say, "Hey, Lenon, you got any? Can I get something to eat?" I said, nah, go to your mama's house. You know, so, I don't want to have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to deal with Umar. He come up, the plug show up, and Umar here said, "Nah, he don't stay here no more." Say Umar don't live here no more. Okay. Then all the bill collectors, is Umar here? I said, no, he done moved out. Okay, we working. Anyway, I wouldn't do it. It'd be a waste of time, waste of money, waste of time. Shits. Okay, thanks, Enterprise. That's crazy. What's up, arrogant people? Says not Umar trusting the clear man's the clear man. What in the world? Clear man's bank. Yeah, evidently he got it, but the white man bank, he got the nonprofit status from the white man, but he's fighting against the white man, and white man trying to stop him. It's all a bunch of foolishness. All right, thanks, arrogant people. All right, I gotta read these last ones fast. I'm trying to work it. Malika says Umar doesn't want a school; he wants fame and fortune. You're right. You're right about that. Podcasts give him fame, and his supporters give him fortune that he's too ignorant to invest. Yeah, this is a really good point. I think Umar, he likes the adoration and the praise that comes with the fame, and he wants to be perceived as this great black leader, what have you. And then on top of that, he wants people's money because he doesn't want to have to work a job. The other thing too is he feels entitled to black people's money, which is fascinating to me. No one's entitled to anyone's money. That's why when people send super chats, I always take time to thank people. You know. You guys have that's like I was saying earlier. I don't even want to do merch because I feel like I'll be being greedy then. You know what I'm saying? But for Umar, he wants to get as much as he can with the least amount of effort. And that's where the fortune comes in. And it's crazy, like you're saying, with all the money that he receives, it's not like he's in a better position in life than he was 4 years ago or 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago. See, I can say I'm in a much better position in life. Okay, there's other things I've done. I picked up a degree, got a better job. I've been smarter about my time. You know, I don't have time to waste, especially at my age. I ain't got time to waste. So everything has to be functional. I wish I had this mentality when I was much younger, but you know, I don't got a time machine. You know, I would have been much more successful, or I would have made so many mistakes earlier on. You know, but I don't have a time machine. All I can work with is where I'm at today and do better tomorrow, and I strive to do that. There's a lot that Umar could have done, including with the money that he received. Instead of using it to destroy himself, he could have not only could he fulfilled his promise of opening up a school, he could actually benefit himself in a way to where literally he would have been a multimillionaire these days. And there's no telling. Like if his mentality was, his mind was such that he really wanted to help black people, he could have been doing all types of things, even outside of a school. Yeah, he could have still been having that. He could have had it to where other people were running it, and he just checks in to make sure things are going, you know, like a photo ops and shit, that kind of thing. But then he's building other businesses over time. You know, an online academy that goes with it. Literally, he would have been a multimillionaire by now, right? But he's not a good steward of money. He feels entitled to other people's money, and for him, because he has no respect for his donors, when the money comes in, he don't give a shit. It's like, give me your money. Next time, if you give me 10, next time make it 20. You give me 20, next time make it 40, all the way up. What kind of mentality is that? Well, that's why he's where he's at today. Too ignorant to invest, too ignorant to put the money to work towards where it goes. See, real quick, I know I said I'm going to go quickly here, but Malika, if Umar took this money and he made one school work, the money would have been flowing like crazy. He wouldn't even have to start a new school. He could just say, okay, what we're going to do is start another school because it was just a lot. We're going to do this online academy in addition to the school. But this clown can't even pay $38,380.22 in 2025. Just ignorant. Real talk. Thanks, Malika. And it's such a waste, too. That's why a lot of black people, they threw at Umar. Bro was lit, got his fix. Yeah, he sure was, sniffing and blinking. Thanks, damn, Jack 5. User 225 says that middle finger looking. All right. Lewis Lux says, I just noticed he looks like a Pan African Mr. T. If Mr. T was out of shape, and oh no, you ain't got to put the last part on there. Y'all don't remember Mr. T? I used to love me some Mr. T. I pity the fool that send the money to. Let me not. Thanks, Lewis Lux, for the super chat. You didn't have to put that last part in there. It's true though. Okay. Martha Earth says, big Vienna sausage for okay. All right. Hey guys. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Tank does it all. It's gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Tank. I appreciate that. Whoever received it, make sure you thank Tank. This was from way long time ago, like 2 hours ago. Thank you. D says, Umar, we not fixing a flat tire. Yeah. Anytime Umar start begging and sniffing and blinking, he be messing his words up because he need that money. Okay. Thanks, D, for super chat. Adam says, if he is a 501c3, make him open the books. And Adam, he should. See, he should have a website, and everything should be on that website to show what's the expenses, what's coming in. The only thing that we can look at, Adam, is his nonprofit status, his filings with the IRS. But I guarantee you guys, okay, and I'm not saying as a fact, but I can almost guarantee that the amount of money that he's reporting to the IRS is much less than the amount of money that he's actually collecting for any given year. I guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. Be careful. You see? So this all to say that all of that should be public record. If he was a good steward of the money and he wanted to continue to maintain his support base with the financial aspect of this, and if he was doing his due diligence in terms of making sure that bills are paid, they're paid on time, or he's not in this type of situation that he's in, where he's lying on the city and all this other stuff, there's a lot of different routes that he could have taken wherein the transparency was there that would have been to his benefit, including opening up the books. See, here's the thing: if he was handling business and he wasn't scamming, then why not open up the books? It's a nonprofit, but not Umar. That's his biggest issue is that the lack of transparency. One of his biggest is lack of transparency, but that's on purpose because he doesn't want to see that he squandered the money, that he's been living off this money from the beginning. Thanks, Adam, for the super chat. James says, that headband remind me of the old school that be playing basketball. If I tune the chamber, yeah, with them socks that go all the way up to their knees and all that stuff. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that from way back in the day. They don't be dressing like that these days, though. Yeah, I used to when I was in college the first time. I used to have a bandana, but it was a white one that just was like this. Then I had one I put out here on my arm for no reason, just trying to look cool. Couldn't play all that well, but you can at least try. Thanks, James. Tank does it all. Says love the viz, Mr. Honor. Hey, Cook Christian, thank you so much, Tank. Thank you for super chat, and I appreciate the kind words. Matthew says, please check World Star last IG post. Umar the scammer is now offering a lunch date with Dr. Umar for $500. I hate this fraudster has her Ghana passport. Yeah. I think that's an older it's probably an older video. It's probably new, just going on the World Star, but it's probably from an older video because Umar, there was a time where he was talking about a date with the doctor, and I'll kid you guys, and that's another scam he was. I don't remember another scam he was running. He would say, you black women, you can pay to have a date with me, but I'll pay for the meal. I said, wait a minute. If they pay you $500 and you take 20 of that 500, that's you paying for the meal? I kid you not. He's such a scammer. So that's probably what they're talking about. I don't be going on World Star, but that's probably what they talking about. That was another scam he had going on back in the day. See, that's when I told people back then. I said, soon he gonna be out here, out here selling them. Let me stop. We're all on the corner. Thanks, Matthew, for a super chat. I appreciate it. Robert became a new member. Thank you so much, Robert. I uploaded it's like an hour video for members last week. So if you're a member, make sure you check that out. Spazzy says Cash App and PayPal were made by snow bunnies. He should think it probably was. He don't care. All that rhetoric about, the white man this and, we shouldn't be supporting white business or we should be only supporting black men. Umar, he wears the Nikes, he wears the jeans, he'll wear the polo shirts and the cologne and all this stuff. He's a total hypocrite. So he has even have him have a nonprofit status. Well, wouldn't that be white man too, Umar? See? Yeah. So he tells black people what you all should be doing with your money, but he'll do the exact opposite, and he'll tell y'all who you should be investing in or spending your money on. But he does the exact opposite, including having Cash App and PayPal. He don't have Cash App anymore. They shut him down. Thanks, Fazzy, for super chat. Ashotya says Says, how can anyone trust a fool who dresses like an extra from The Last Dragon? Who's the master? Bruce Evon 2. That was my movie though back in the day, the Last Dragon. I used to look. I had a crush on. I think her name was Apollonia. She was a singer or something for Prince back in the day. But I had such a big crush on her. I used to act like I was the one guy, you know, because he was kind of. They were trying to get together. It looked like they was gonna get together, whatever. And I would just be like, do my karate moves and stuff. Because I said maybe Apollonia. I was a kid. Maybe Apollonia see me. She might. Weirdo. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. But that was the movie back in the day. Yeah. Malika says, Lord, them jeans have seen better. Yeah, Umar, his jeans always be struggling. That's Umar. Okay, thank you, Malika. Prince of Tuna Fish. All right, Spazzy. All right, thank you. SB says, let's buy Umar a plane ticket out of here. Yeah, he'll come back, though. He always come back. Thanks, SB. James Smith says, he mean his pocket's going to start popping like popcorn. yeah, that money start popping like popcorn. He said, these schools, they're going to start popping like popcorn. I said, Umar, come on, that's ridiculous. Thanks, James. Antoine says, hit the Zoe Nation will continue to disassociate with the coconut. I don't know what you're talking about. What is a coconut? I don't know. It sounds like Caribbean. It's because I think my wife called me that one time. Let me go look it up. A coconut or a cockroach. But since multiple Creole expressions are symbolic, man, coconut, it could mean a low life or something like that. Why would my wife call me that? I don't like that. All right. Thanks, Antoine. The real to real says, then do you think if the bank account is under investigation, could it be from large amounts of money being transferred to somewhere in Africa? That could be possible too. There's people who speculated about that too. Because the timeline kind of fits with where he was going over to Africa, and who knows what he's doing. See, the whole him getting Ghanaian citizenship, that could be a huge part of the puzzle with his financial situation right now. You know, it's possible that Umar he's been moving money over there because he has citizenship in advance of him maybe moving over there. And if it's large sums that are going over at a certain point, it's going to be flagged from a bank, right? That's what I'm saying. There's no telling that. Really, what really needs to take place is that Umar he said that he was audited. I don't believe so because I would think there would be some sort of public record of that. I haven't seen that, especially if it's a nonprofit. His financials need to be audited, fully audited, at least going back to 2010. Bank accounts, PayPal, CashApp, GoFundMe, Plum Fund. Checks and money orders sent to his P.O. boxes. One of them was in the one he still uses in Wilmington, Delaware. The other one's in Philadelphia. Potentially trying to track cash, you know, too. Bank state, any bank account, even if it's not quote unquote FDMG bank account. Who knows? He may only have his own account called the bank FDMG account, but his own personal account. All of that needs to be audited. And once that happens, everything that I've been saying, it'll blow everything out the water. Because everything I've been saying about Umar, people have realized very quickly that I've been telling the truth from the beginning. So that's really what needs to take place. And then also part of it would be they will be investigating where the money is going here in the United States of America, if it's going across seas. Okay. And at that point, that would be it. Thanks to Real to Real. A. Saffron says, where is your certificate of acceptance, which precedes the certificate of occupancy? Umar does not understand the process. Someone broke this. I don't know, it may have been you, but someone that broke this down before, that Umar, he's skipping steps. In other words, he has to get renovation work done first. And then there's something that's called the certificate of acceptance. And then he can go for the certificate of occupancy, which makes sense because occupancy would be closer to the last step where the buildings can be occupied. But before that, there's all types of inspections and renovation work that needs to take place, inspections that need to take place in advance of even applying for the certificate of occupancy. I don't think Umar even knows the proper process with any of this. And I don't see why he would anyway. It's not like he's working with professionals that would tell him, hey, wait a minute, you need to do this first, do this first. If you think about it, Umar has never operated with this renovation phase in a way that makes sense from point A to point B to point C all the way to point Z. He's all over the place with stuff. I mean, why are you painting 4 years ago? What's the point in painting 4 years ago? See, but that's the least amount of work, the least amount of money, the least amount of time that he could put into it to give what? The illusion of progress, that somehow he's making progress with this project. And he's been stringing people along like this for a very long time. Meanwhile, he's not even going through the proper steps day by day, let alone month by month, let alone year by year. It shouldn't take this long anyway. Thank you, A Sapphire, for super chat. The Real says, I already got this one. Thank you so much. Did I miss? Oh, no, this is another one. No, I think you sent it twice. I think you sent it twice on accident. I wish I could send it back. I can't do it. It doesn't allow me to do so. But thank you, Real. I feel bad that you did a double super chat on accident. Yeah, I wish there was a way where I can hit a button and send it back to you. Thank you, Real, for super chat. What's up, Bobbity Bish? Sasha says, to the 5% who said Umar didn't lie, meet me in the parking lot. I just want to talk to you. I want to talk to y'all. Yeah, let me close out this poll because it went up to 6%. People said, well, the Umar followers try to jump in here. Okay, there were 4,972 votes. Did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? 94% said yes, 6% said no. Okay, matter of fact, I'm going to leave this up. Let's see if we can get to 5,000. If you haven't voted, go and hit it. We got over 2,200 likes too as well. If you enjoyed the show at any point during the slideshow, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to leave that up, see if we can get to 5,000. Okay, we're already at 4,975 now. Thanks, Sasha, for the super chat, or for being a member for 19 months. Jam says, and we like we can eat off his school. yeah. Ooh, as soon as the bills come due, it's us, it's we need to do this. No, don't put me in that. I love the Michael Jordan thing too, by the way. That's my favorite of all time. I grew up watching Jordan. Thank you for super chat. A Sapphire says, who supports someone who talks like this? That's another thing I've talked about. I think that's another one of the cognitive dissonance with Umar. He talks so reckless. The other thing is the idea that people either would want to send their child to him is crazy to me, but then also that they will support the possibility of other people sending their child to Umar. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people who donate and they support Umar, but they don't have kids, or their kids are too old or grown, or they have kids that they wouldn't send to Umar for whatever reason. But why would you support Umar with the potential of him, being in the control of other people's kids? That's something I don't get. I don't get that at all. Yeah, he's so reckless. Thank you, A Sapphire. Drew says, them student loan folks sure call me every day. That's what I'm saying. Someone that brought this up earlier, listen, if you owe people money, they're going to contact you, especially the city. And in general, the more you owe, the more they're going to contact you. So they've been trying to get Umar to pay this $38,388.22. He's known about this for years now, but he wants to play it off and paint this fake narrative and lie on the city of Wilmington. That's crazy. And then when he get his followers to go in March, he's trying to get people arrested. Thanks, Drew, for super chat. BHMG Music Hub says, delusional, defiant at its best. Nobby. Yeah. Umar has a very defiant personality. Very, very true. Thank you for the super chat. A Sapphire says, Detroit calls accountant in development last resort. You lucky you got that. Detroit calls accountant in development. Okay, last resort. You lucky you got that. Yeah. You probably know a lot more than in terms of the financial aspect. Financial aspect of this, it's not financially viable. Even if Umar was able to get these parents to spend $500 a month in an impoverished community to send their child to this non-accredited school, there's no way that he would be able to get enough students in there to be able to get enough money to pay faculty and staff. We're not even talking about other operating expenses, light bill, power bill, internet access. The list goes on and on and on. Insurance, catering for the kids, because there's no facility inside that small school to cook meals or to warm meals up. It's not even financially viable. That's why I think people who have skill sets beyond laymen, like they have an accountant or accountant or something like that, they probably look at this from the beginning was like, no, this is ridiculous. There's no way. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. A lovely day. Sent in a super sticker as well. Thank you so much. It's one of my favorite songs. Jay Civic says, you said people aren't trying to steal the paperwork. They're running away. It's true. We ain't trying to steal. You know what I'm saying? If we see some paperwork on a door like that, we ain't going to go try to take it. We trying to go the other way. Real talk. Thanks, Jay Civic. That's real talk, though. Jam says he half-asked the nonprofit info and he was done. Yeah. Thank you, Jam. Sammy says, did you see the city? Okay, I got that one earlier. Okay, and I saw that. I got your email. Thank you so much. Staff Music says, is we losing the school balls? What is we gonna do? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Staff Music. That's not like Umar when the police officer. Anyway. High Vibe says, sorry I came in late. That's okay. It's archived. You can come and check out the rest of it when you get some time. Would filing the waiver request and if approved would have eliminated. Okay, so would filing the waiver request and if approved would have eliminated these fees or bought him more time to pay. Okay, the way the waivers work is that if it has to be for that current year, the waivers cannot be applied to any past years. So Umar, he's already 5 years in because the first year doesn't count. Really, he's 5.5 years in. So this current year, he would be able to file a waiver. I think it's too late now, though. But this current year, he could have attempted to file a waiver to see if he can get this current year, But in terms of all the years prior, it doesn't apply to that. And the what's his name? Daniel T. Walker, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Communication for the city of Wilmington, he actually says that in the email, that it can't be applied for anything that's past due or old from before. It can only be for that specific year. So even what Umar is trying, the narrative that Umar is spinning is that if he could get that waiver in and got it completed, but they're trying to stop him from doing it, and they're not going to stop communicating with him, then all of a sudden all of that debt is going to disappear. That's not how that works. See, he lies so much. He really does. And see, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't know that. But I find it's just at this point, it would be hard for me to say that he didn't know that you can't, retroactively pay, get this waiver for all those other fees from previous years. I think he knew that. Man, this guy, he's something else. He really is. And he lies so much. The difference, I think, these days, High Vibe, is that more and more people are waking up, including his followers, because he's been telling so many lies this whole year, though. It's been ridiculous, but he's told so many lies that the people are waking up that, hey, listen, this guy, he's a pathological liar. He's not to be trusted. He's not to be believed. If he doesn't provide any paperwork to prove anything, because anyone can say anything, right? He doesn't have any paperwork to prove it, or some receipt to prove it. That's not enough. And just the video alone, that's not enough, unless he's doing something that is incriminating. And you can say, okay, well, listen, he's doing it right there. Okay. But he lies so much. I think more and more people are realizing that truth. He's the pathological liar. Thanks, High Vibe, for the super chat. For Black sent in the super sticker, thank you so much. I appreciate that. User 225 says, hit the 5, like how many fingers? Okay. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. All right. Just Art in Pain says, now all of a sudden it's Art. I got this one earlier. That's who think he's slick. Sammy says, I got my sister to email you the screenshot, but it's also in the beginning of JJ Witt's latest vid if you want to see it there. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I actually put it up. So thank you so much. And shout out to Brother Jay. Thank you, Sammy Ray, for the super chat. I'm getting tired. You see my eyes? I've been needing sleep for a couple months. Prices says he didn't get his refund Tune Day. Yeah, that's Umar. Thanks, Priceless Princess. Sapphire says Delaware ain't finna play your games. Yeah, I know. He's potentially, because see, I would think that there are some of his followers that actually been calling up there, calling the city, calling the councilman, all this other stuff that he told the people to do. That not only is it inappropriate, but it's dangerous because they don't even know what's going on. Umar been lying to him anyway, but it's dangerous because ain't no telling what a person may say or even do for that matter. So even the fact that Umar would try to employ this type of a tactic, I think that's one of the reasons why he took the video down, but it was too late because people already picked it up, and I myself included, and started reporting on it. Yes, the city's not going to play these types of games. So it only takes one of these lunatic Umar Johnson cult followers to say something or do something that's threatening, and then all of a sudden that person's going, and they're going to get hemmed up. Okay, they're going to end up getting arrested, and then they're going to trace it back to Umar. See, Umar, he's boy, I'm telling you, he's just stupid. He's real stupid. Thank you, Sapphire. He's just ridiculous. I got this one. This is a good point too. At this point, after you see the truth about Umar, when he start to run his mouth, you see that everything he says is a confession of the truth, that he's a liar at the end of the day. Thanks for that too. Black Wolf says, if this would have happened in the 90s, Umar would be laid down back then. People was getting took out for $20 in those days. All facts. Yeah, I remember them days too. Yeah. Now, I know for a fact that there are people who have run up on Umar. I know for a fact that has happened. That's one of the reasons why Umar, he has so much paranoia. You know, he takes guns wherever he can go, wherever he can take them. That's Umar. I mean, he's in a state of fear all the time, but that's because of all of the dirt that he's been involved in over the years. It's been a lot. I mean, over the decades, it's been a lot. See, but it's true. I think Umar, he's gotten away with a lot for a very long time. And you know, if it was a different time period, I think things would have been different. You know, I think Umar would have been checked a long time ago. I have to say this, Black Wolf, because there are Black leaders that they, in a conscious space, they kept their mouth closed. They didn't want to say anything. They knew, but they didn't want to say anything. I think that's cowardice. See, they'll say something now because of everything that's gone on more recently. It's easy to say something now. Wasn't that easy, though, 5 years ago, Black Wolf, remember? But see, by not saying anything, you enable these people to continue to ravage the Black community with impunity. And that's not the way that things should go. Not at all. See? So yeah, it's a different time. It's unfortunate too, because we should stand up from the beginning, have enough courage to do so, and do it with integrity too. Don't be lying on people and making up false names. I ain't never done that with Umar, never will. That's not how I operate. Thanks, Black Wolf, for super chat. ASAP says you need a certificate of acceptance first. Yeah. Thanks again. My lips getting all chapped. YouTube Device says, why did he delete the vid? Was it CashApp or the city? I think it was us. I think how we broke all that down. And I remember I explained in that video, if memory serves me correctly, towards the end, I was saying how this could be dangerous because, like I was saying just a while ago, that one of his followers, they can go up there, they can go down there to the courthouse, or they can go down there and you know, start talking reckless, and then all of a sudden it turns into something totally different. See, so Umar, he took that. But also people were going in on him. You know, Umar know what time it is. Thank you, Jutify. I gotta change out this battery. Y'all give me 1 second, right quick. I'll be back in. Give me 5 seconds. All right, that was like 10. But you know, next time make it 10. That's what I was saying. Thank you. Kip Warner says, if he has the money to litigate, why doesn't he pay the past due? Stop it. Yeah. Great question. Because Umar talking about how he needs to he got lawyers and all this other stuff. He was asking for money for that though, too. Remember? But again, same thing when he was talking about how he was looking for another school. If it was a $500,000, $250,000, he can work with that. Well, if you can work with that right now, then why don't you just pay this past bill off? So I don't think Umar has any money. And I think the money's totally gone at this point. And he living from donation to donation. Yeah, good point. It doesn't make sense. The whole scenario doesn't make sense, but it's not meant to because he lies so much. Quiet Storm says, even if the city really did ignore him for 4 months, he ignored them for 6.5 years. And there you have it. See, all he had to do is walk down there or drive down in the rental car that he used the donor's money on, go on down there and go handle the business. He's had money to pay these off over the years, right? But no, he wants to spend money on stupid shit. You know, block parties. I'm sure those block parties cost more than what this stuff is. See, he could have had just that right there. See, all the rental cars that he's renting and shit, that's money. That's all money that needs to be going towards the school. Him eating good. Remember him eating good and all that stuff. That money that's going towards the school. Hotel, motels, living in our hotel, motels, money that go to the school. See? They ignored me for 4 months. But Umar, you've been tripping for 6.5 years. That's a good point right there, Quiet Storm. Real good point. Thank you for the super chat. The fifth house says, y'all know the repetition is a form of spell casting on his audience, right? And the we and us verbiage too. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's a form of what they call neuro-linguistic program. I used to study that stuff, mind control and all that kind of stuff. MK Ultra is when I was in my conspiracy days. You're absolutely right. He does that on purpose. And Lene says that in person, in everyday life, he doesn't do all that repeating stuff over and over again. He doesn't do all that. He does it when he's on stage, or he does it when he's trying to it's not just manipulation, it's persuasion. When he's trying to persuade his followers into thinking a certain way, or to thinking something that is false to be true. So the repetition is part of that. And then he uses terms like we and us, and you know, we got to get this paid, and you know, we need to do this, and blah 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 blah. But it's just Umar. It's his way to make people feel as if they're part of something. Really, what it is, it's a cult. It's a virtual cult. That's what Umar, he's established. It's a virtual cult. Most people don't realize it, but if you guys look at the definition of a cult, you'll see very clear. And we should probably do a video on that at some point. I can pull it up and we'll look and we'll compare it to how Umar is with his followers. I'm not saying all of his followers are part of the cult, but he has the followers that you know, they believe everything he says, no matter what he says. They believe in everything he does, no matter what he does. And at no point will they criticize Umar or question him on anything. And then he always is set up as the person who's as the head of everything. He has all the answers. He's the one that's going to liberate everybody. He becomes the Black Christ, even in this terminology. You hear it very clearly. So yeah, one of the reasons why Umar has been able to get to the point that he's at is because he understands the manipulative techniques, and one of them is simply repetition, repeating things over and over again. Right? And then we and us, and then they too. That's another thing. They this, they that. They just hating on us. You see, no. Thanks, the Fifth House, for super chat. Victorious One sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. What's up, Saggy Bob? Says FDMG grand opening, February 2nd, 3025. And by the way, I forgot, Saggy Bob. You guys realize the school's supposed to open next month. With all this going on, these abandoned buildings are supposed to open next month. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, sir. Andrea says, Umar, stop lying 3 times. He's not marching anywhere but to the dinner table for zebra cakes and Chinese food. Yeah. Lene said he liked Chinese food. I believe her too. I believe her. I totally believe her. Umar, he liked to eat. He likes zebra cakes. He likes treats and sweet stuff. You know, that's Umar. But again, that's all money wasted too. Eating out and snacking and all that. That's why I see Umar. If you had just gotten you one good woman and build a relationship with her and build a home. I'm not saying literally build a home, but you know, a home. Okay, you got home cooked meals. You save a lot of money on that, homeboy. Instead of using the donor's money, you say, ain't no telling how many tens of thousands, 20, you know, it could be $100,000 worth of food. No, more than that too at this point, because we've been at this for a long time. Just eating out and shit and snacking. That's all money supposed to go to this school. No disrespect to the Chinese food either. Okay, I'm just saying, or zebra cake for that matter. Okay, thanks, Andrea. You're right though. Simulacrum says, Leon, your amount of 38,000 is correct. I was lazy and I was adding the individual totals. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. The thing is, there are people who say stuff like, well, Lenon, they're not giving you credit and people are reporting. I don't really care about that. I really don't. I don't have an ego like that. Not like that. Everyone has an ego. My ego is when I'm wrong on my, my information. Because I don't like that, but on the other hand, I want to be factual. So if anyone's able to prove anything I say to be incorrect, or if they have research that I don't have, share it with me, and make sure you have your receipts in order, because I want to be factual. That's the thing. As someone who does research, it's not about getting to a certain point in research and you believe that that's it, because there's always more to get into. The ego that I have is where, I've realized I was wrong about something. I'm like, oh shit. But really, it's okay though too, because it's better to get closer to the truth or get to the truth than to be wrong about something. I'll give you a quick example, and we're going to wind this down. I used to think that this all started with Umar in 2014. And the reason why was because that's the first video that I saw of Umar where he was doing the St. Paul's college. Someone sent it to me, the St. Paul's school scam back in 2014. Someone sent me that on Facebook. So that's what I thought, that it started in 2014. But then when I started researching further, I realized that I thought that it started in 2010, where he posted on Instagram, his Facebook page, his old Facebook page, that the school was promises to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Umar Academy for boys specializing in learning disabilities and whatever it was. Grand opening September 11, 2013. I thought it started in 2010, but that wasn't correct either. So each time, like, my ego took a hit, but then on the other hand, I realized, okay, well, I'm getting closer to the truth, and that's really what it comes down to. I have integrity, and that's the one thing. I have to conduct myself a particular way. But then I realized, even doing more research, that it goes back to 2004. I have a video where Umar says that he conceptualized in 2004, and that he started this process of building this institution in 2005. Okay, that correlates to Umar, his resignation letter in 2005 with the UNIA, where he was trying to scam them for a building fund to do renovation work for a building, the UNI building. See, all this starts to connect. So the point that I'm making is that when I tell people, listen, if you have a receipt to prove me wrong, I'm not saying that as a defense, like I'm being defensive of what I think I know. I say that genuinely because I want to know the truth. And if I don't have my facts in order, please correct me. I've always been like that. But on the other hand, that's where my ego takes a hit. But then I get over it quickly enough. Okay. But again, it's okay. If anyone has any information that contradicts mine and it's the truth, please share it with me. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Y'all excuse my lips too. That's all. They all chapped. Ming sent the super sticker. Thank you so much, Ming. I appreciate that. One and only DJ Nick Nasty. Damn. Dr. Umar is just old Umar. He never kept up with his CEs. What do you mean by CEs? I think maybe you mean certifications. I do know that he hasn't done on how to keep up your certifications. Maybe you're talking about something totally different. I'm not even sure. There is, yeah, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about continuing education. I apologize. So yeah, Umar, he hasn't kept up with his continuing education. There's credits that you, in order to renew or to maintain certifications. And that's why in 2025, Umar does not hold any professional certifications at all. But he tells people that he does. He still posts on his Instagram page. That's what I mean by Umar. He's fabricated this whole illusion about who he is and what he does. And, you know, I'm working with these boys in school. He ain't working at. What are you talking about? What school? When and where, homeboy? Now, he did back in the day, but I'm talking about in recent history. Where and when? This sloppy bump. I mean, can you imagine Umar inside the school system working with some kids? And I'm doing diagnoses. No, you're not. See, and part of it is because he hasn't kept up with his certification. He's not certified to do any of that. And furthermore, he's never been licensed to work as a psychologist. Never. He's admitted that I have the receipt on that. See? That's the reason why they called him into court. It had to do with his license, him pretending to be a licensed. It ain't nothing to do with this. He trying to make it seem like it's everything else. They're trying to take my credentials. No, they not. It's just you're all online talking as if you're a licensed psychologist and therapist and all this stuff. You ain't none of that stuff. See? And he's never kept up, and specifically dealing with his certifications, he's never kept current with his continuing education. That's that CE. Yeah. Thank you, one and only DJ Nick Nasty. Rocky Dasaki says all those donations went up Umar nose. Not all of them. Okay, let's be fair. A lot of them, but not all of them. Okay, because that's a lot of money to go. There ain't no way. If all that money went up, his nose been fallen off by now. You know what I'm saying? His nose would have been fallen off. Thank you, Rocky Dasaki. Kimmy Kim, how's it going? Kim Kim says a white supremacist is going around claiming he's going to buy the building. Yeah, I saw that video. It's just a big old mess. What would he do with it though? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with these trap bandos? The thing is that even if you purchase them, there's so much that needs to go into them in terms of renovation that it just wouldn't make sense. And then there's also the EPA issue. That's the lingering issue that Umar has never addressed. Not one in all of my research dealing with Umar have I heard him bring that up. That's a huge issue right there. You guys can look up EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, Brandywine District, area-wide plan. Google it and go check out the document. Okay? We've covered it in the past. Thanks, Kimmy Kim. One also says, I would not be surprised if he already raised 100K. You're just talking about in terms of Umar getting money to pay off this $38,288.22. Could he have done that? Because really, let's look at the timeline. He doesn't talk about the accounts being frozen and that he needs money until July 25th. Could he have raised 100,000 in a matter of 3 weeks and a couple of days? That's hard to say because his followers. That's hard to say. I don't know, Kitwana. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Do I think he's going to raise the money? Yeah, I think he will. I think he probably has already raised close to it already, if not more. But 100,000, I'm not quite sure. It is possible because the thing is that there could be one person that writes him a check for $50,000. He's close to being. I mean, he has enough already to pay us off. See, the thing is that there's no transparency. So whatever money that's coming in, there's no way that people can figure out how much more he needs. But that's the same thing with the school scam, right? He never. Last time he updated people was in 2020. He said that he had raised $850,000, and in 2025, he's saying he hasn't raised $1 million yet. Okay, how is it possible that in 2020 you're at $850,000, and over 5 years later you still haven't reached $1 million? See? So the transparency isn't there. And real talk, it wanted the transparency for the amount of money that he's collected for this FDMG bill to hold on to these buildings. There's no transparency there either. So ain't no telling. I mean, he could have raised $100,000 by now. You know, it's actually possible that after all of these years, going all the way back to 2010, that Umar has raised $4 million. It's possible. It's possible. You know, my best estimate is 2.6, 2.7. So who knows how much he's raised over the last couple of weeks or last couple of days, for that matter. Okay? I do know one thing, that it doesn't push the project forward. It's just, this would be just to hold on to these buildings for who knows how much longer, another month, another year, another 2 years. No end in sight. Thanks, Gitwana. That's why I really hope that at some point he's truly investigated and he's audited. All financials are audited with this guy. Okay, that right there would break everything open. Thank you for super chat. What's up, your kids will see this. Says there was a lady who said the only time we seen Umar interact with kids was when he called the cops on them outside those bandos. Yeah, that's the video I was going to play today, because I have a longer video that I'm compiling right now that gives a more in-depth timeline than what we covered here today. And that's in that Umar, when he found out that there were children inside of the abandoned buildings, they were in there playing. It goes to show you he only got proper security up in there. He shouldn't have, no one should be in there anyway. That he told them he was going to call the police on them, and he did. I got the video. I should play it for y'all to close out instead of doing a song. I should just play that to just close out. Y'all want me to? I hit the one. We almost done. Yeah, that is crazy. He called the police on them kids. And they were just being kids, you know. Now, thanks. Your kids will see this for super chat. Your kids will see this. Also, get the members. Thank you so much. Make sure you thank whoever received it. Make sure you thank your kids will see this. I'm getting close to the bottom. Thank you so much, everyone. I am Legend says buy the school and call it the Cookie Crush Cathedral. big old cookies on the thing. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, nah, there's no. I wouldn't do that. Not at all. Thank you for the super chat. It's funny though. Laurie says money frozen like mama's chicken that you forgot to take out the freezer. You don't want to do that, especially if she told you to. You know, take that chicken out that freezer. It's like my wife. I always tell her, baby, please make sure you put this food. Don't leave this food out. Please don't, because I'll be trying to go to bed. Please don't leave this food out, because I want to eat some more of this tomorrow. Like, yeah, I'll put it away. I'll put it away. Because if it's sit overnight, I ain't going to eat it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thanks, Laurie. Fazad, the God says, I know I'm reading that wrong. Dr. Umar is a baloney smuggler. What in the world? All right, thank you for the super chat. She called you coconut because you be crawling all over. I don't know what that really means, though. Real talk. Oh, maybe that. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Thank you. Mike Check 123 says you cannot have a segregated school in America. That's another issue. Umar tried to play that off on the Breakfast Club too, because they mentioned there's something. Like, he was like, "Yeah, that's something we got to work out." I said, "Okay, Umar, you go on and figure it out." All right, thanks, Mike Check 123. Mr. Hilton says, Lenon, I may have missed it, but I've never heard you discuss the donation numbers for the previous EIN. He had two, if I'm correct, definitely over 2 million. Okay, so this is one of the issues with the lack of transparency, and this is something that I'll explore more inside the documentary. I have talked about this. So what I can say is that when Umar first started raising money for the St. Paul's College in 2014, we're not talking about any money that he raised before that, because there's people who said they were donating for this FDMG thing back in 2007, 2008, 2009. You see people making these comments online. Over the years, I've seen a lot of them. We're just going with 2014. So when Umar starts raising money for the St. Paul's College in 2014, he doesn't have tax exempt status. Okay, he actually admits that in the video from April or May of 2014. I can play it for you guys. So what happens is that all the money that he receives, it's all personal income. Okay, it's not part of FDMG per se, because that doesn't exist on paper at that point. FDMG. By the time we get to 2015, Umar, he is able to establish a nonprofit. It was a 501(c)(4), I believe, if memory serves me correctly. No, 501. I can't remember what it was. I have the document, but anyway, it's not what he currently has. But he had something else. It was considered to be parochial, meaning that it was a religious institution. That's where we get into the EFA and all this other stuff. So he gets tax exempt status in 2015, but he doesn't report to the IRS how much money he raised in 2015. He doesn't report to the IRS how much he raised in 2016. And because he doesn't report to the IRS how much he raised in 2017, they revoke his nonprofit status. Now, what I do have, Mr. Hilton, is I have Umar on record giving updates on how much money he raises throughout the years from 2014 through 2020. So he's telling people that, I mean, there's one point where he said he raised $500,000 in a year and a half. I want people to think about that. If you raise $500,000 in a year and a half, how much have you raised over the last 11 years? See what I'm saying? So he gives these updates over time. At a certain point, he gets to $750,000. There's a point where he says he needs another $1 million, that he already has $1 million. That was in the end of 2016, going into 2017. Yet here we are in 2025. He's telling people he hasn't raised $1 million. So the point is that previous EIN number is only active, if memory serves you correctly, from 2015 through 2017. They revoke it. And he wasn't reporting anything to the IRS anyway. So all that's considered to be personal income because he's not reporting it. It's like his own money. And he did whatever he wanted to with all that money. Now, what I would have to do, Mr. Hilton, to come up with a figure in terms of how much money he raised from 2014 through 2017 is based upon video evidence of what he states. And I can actually do that and show you guys all of that. Okay? But it gets really shaky because what my research shows is that Umar, by the time we get to 2020, he's saying he's only raised $850,000. But at the end of 2016, he said he was at $1 million. So what I'm saying is that it's very difficult to come up with an actual figure because Umar actually contradicts himself. And there's no record that we can go back to. I'm talking about digital record trail via the IRS that will show how much money he collected in 2015, 16, and 17. So he doesn't have tax exempt status in 2018. He's still collecting money. He doesn't have tax exempt status in 2019. He acquires these trap bandos. He doesn't have tax exempt status in 2019. It's not until 2020 that he sets up another EIN number. He changes the name slightly, and then he starts collecting money under that EIN number. And that's what he's been using ever since. And that's why we can find a digital record of him in terms of 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 in terms of what he's reported to the IRS. But before that, real shaky because the figures, he contradicts himself. See, but I do have the videos where he's given these different figures, and sometimes it goes up and then it'll go back down again. This goes to show he's a con man. So the first EIN number is problematic because he never reported and there's no digital trail of that. And then what we do have is from 2020 through 2024 of him reporting. And that's how I know that Umar has raised a bare minimum of $1.67 million because you can just add up what he's reporting to the IRS from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. And then you look at how much money he had in a non-interest bearing account, which was over $500,000. And you look at the alleged purchase price of $400,000. He said a little more than that, $425,000. You add all that up together and he's over $1.67 million. But he's telling people in 2025 that he hasn't even raised $1 million. He's a con man. See, that's why this whole situation with the money is that's really where the scam is at. But that's why Umar doesn't want to have transparency, because if he was truly audited, and I'm talking about not just his EIN number, his current EIN number, but also the previous one. Okay, we're talking way over $2 million. That's why I say 2.6, 2.7. It could be $4 million at this point. People, that's a lot of money. Yeah, but spread this out from 2014 to 2025 over the course of 11 years. And then even deeper still, let's go back to 2010, over the last 15 years. And there's people who said they sent him donations in 2009, 2008, 2007. That's the lowest I've seen in 2007. You put all that together, this guy ain't no telling how much money he's received. Okay? Thanks, Mr. Hilton, for super chat. Hope I didn't belabor that. ZZ Top says Umar turned off comments on his IG. Yeah, that's because, and you notice he ain't doing many live streams either because people been going in on it. They're tired of it. All the lying, and they know, especially the bank account. See, Umar's whole thing is to get money out of people, right? So the thing is that anytime you're dealing with money, you're dealing with banks. So a lot of the people who sending him money, they know how banks work. They got to have a bank account to send him the money in the first place. They know how banks work. So he tells this whole fanciful story. He sets it up a long time ago, talking about on July 9th, talking about 2025, talking about Lenon stole his bank account information. I said, what? Then he said, I had something to do with it. And then he said we hacked the accounts and all this stuff. People ain't buying into that. Then he says the bank accounts were frozen. I need y'all to send me a couple bucks. People ain't playing like that. So he had to turn the comments off. Okay. Poor Umar. Thanks for the super chat. James Dean says Umar called Mary Ann, then had a woman call her to try and convince Mary Ann not to release the wake. Yeah, I know. We've already talked about that offline. There's more I can say, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Because when the next movie drop, The Making of Awaken, that's gonna blow everything out the water. Well, I tell you, it's amazing how all this has turned out, isn't it? And thank you all so much for sticking with me. Some of y'all been around a long time. Some of you guys are newer. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It's not been easy, especially back in the old days. It was rough and tough, but we got through, right? Yeah, Umar, he's something else. There's so much more I want to say on this, but I'm going to leave it right there, James. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Mr. Hilton says, if Umar Johnson's still going to law school on the donor dime, yeah, he was trying to get $3,000 out of his followers to go back to law school, allegedly. This guy, he will throw any scam out there, you know. Is that family? I need to get me some walking boots. Wait a minute, what? You know, we're going to be marching, so I got to get me some walking boots on Monday. So if you can get it, I need a donation. Say, if you don't stop, family, I need to get me a burrito. I need to get a burrito for when we go march. I got to have me a couple bucks for a burrito. All right. Thanks, Mr. Hilton. Dr. Carl Lewis Young, PhD. I got to say PhD, okay? Respect. Says, how can a man with supposedly 6 unverified... Well, you got to say it like that. 6 unverifiable degrees and a questionable doctorate based on the dissertation I read not have a work history. Now, real quick, we always got to be fair to Umar. Why you got to say it like that? Umar does have a work history. Let me just tell you what it is. I'll just tell it. I'm not even going to show it. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can just show it to you. And then we got one more. We're going to be up out of here. Shout out to Cook Crash. That's undefeated. There was something I want to pull up. I can't remember what I said. I still told people to hit the one. I can't remember what it was now. Here you go right here. So this is a timeline. So if we look at this, this is going even back further right here. He was born in 1974. He starts at, it's the Scotland School for Veterans Children. I couldn't remember this earlier. Okay, this is a boarding school that he went to. But he starts college as a freshman at the age of 18 in 1992, Millersville University. Okay, and then you can see, based upon my research and what he has stated, he gets different degrees, gets a double major. He classifies it as a double degree, but it's not. They have a double degree program at Millersville, but he was never part of it. He had a double major. And then he graduates Millersville. He starts graduate school. He picks up 3 degrees in graduate school. He gets at least one of those degrees allegedly at Millersville University. But then ultimately he goes to PCOM, and that's 2008. Now he starts working after he gets he graduates from Millersville with a master's in school psychology. That was when he was 26 in 2000. He starts internship in 2000. And I have him on record saying that he starts working in 2001. So he has a work history with the Philadelphia School District from 2001 through 2006. And then he starts conducting what he calls private work for charter schools. He was actually calling himself a doctorate even back then. I think it was 2007 where I have him in my research where he first started calling himself a doctor, even though he didn't graduate until 2015, allegedly with a PsyD. Okay, that's when he was 38. But when he was 33, he was calling himself a doctor. And so he works as a school psychologist in charter schools. This goes through 2008. And then by 2010, and I have him on record where he says he gives up his career as a school psychologist because he wants to, educate the people and he wants to speak and all this stuff. So he starts on the lecture scene in around 2010. And so really it can be said that his work history stretches from 2001 to 2008. Okay, I give Umar a little bit of leeway and I say 2001 through 2010. Right? That's it. Okay, and so from 2010 until present, he hasn't been consistently employed. I do have a picture of him in an office in 2014, but I haven't been able to verify that he was actually working at that time. right? And that's it. That's it. But Umar, he tells people that he's been a school psychologist for 20 years, over 20 years, and that all the decades that he's worked and blah blah blah. No, he had a very relatively short stint from 2001 to 2008 verified, but I give him a little bit of leeway going to 2010, so about 9 years. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But Umar, he lies so much, he has to make it 20 years. Really, at this point, we're talking 24 years. Okay, and even in these days, he'll be saying stuff like he worked for school as a school psychologist for a minimal amount of time. He also states that he worked as a school principal and a school vice principal, but I haven't been able to confirm that. Okay, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Dr. Carl Lewis Young, I appreciate it. And by the way, Umar has a PsyD. He doesn't have a PhD. There is a difference. Okay, but Umar, he says I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. Okay? He instead of saying, listen, I have a PsyD, but that's Umar. Okay. One and only DJ Nick Nasty says, hey, Lenon, show Lene Stack. She's with us in the Cookie Crush chat. Oh, she's yeah. I saw her in here earlier. There was something I was going to pull up to close out, but let's go ahead and close out now. Let me close out this poll. The plan is to have Lene on tomorrow. Okay, I don't know if she emailed me back, but I'll set the show up. If for whatever reason it doesn't work out, I'll be live streaming anyway. She has a bomb to drop tomorrow. Okay, you guys do not want to miss that. Shout out to Lene because she really opened this all up and just blew up the spot. Okay, let me close out this poll. Did Umar Johnson lie on the city of Wilmington? 94% said yes, 6% said no. We had a total of 5,286 votes, which I think is a record. Okay, we had over 2,300 likes as well. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of the support, and the views are off the chain too. Okay, I'm thankful. Thank you guys so much. We still got 3,215 people here at this late hour. Over 2,300 likes. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. All right. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to join me here on this live stream. We'll be back one way or the other with another live stream tomorrow. I also want to thank the mods for handling business. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in super chats. If you send in Cash Apps or PayPal, I just want people to know I do not take that for granted at all. You guys have blessed me, and I'm very grateful and very thankful for it. Okay, I really do mean that. Okay, and also thanks to people who just show up and we have a good time in here. I don't take it for granted. I look forward to it, and I feel good too after we have these live streams. And I hope you guys feel good too. Okay, all right. We'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat is undefeated. I love y'all dearly, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. All right, y'all take care. Peace.